Hello, everybody. I hope you are all having a wonderful Wednesday so far. My name is Denka. I'm your local lunar femboy bunny. Welcome to day 7 of our Donothon, where we're funding a brand new model, redesign, and debut. So today we're going to be doing one of our big goals, which was, one of our earlier goals, which was to do the Blender donut tutorial. So I've actually wanted to do this for a while, but haven't really been able to make the time myself. So I figured, you know what, let's throw it in. And if we reach the goal, we reach the goal. And we can do a bunch of fun stuff together. So I figured it would be really fun if we could learn how to make stuff in Blender together. So the Blender donut tutorial is like, for those of you who don't know, it's basically, if you ask someone, hey, how do I start learning Blender? How do I get into 3D modeling? They're literally gonna tell you, look up the donut tutorial, do the donut tutorial, because this thing is basically it does everything. It's gonna walk you through, as you can see, well, you can't see it, but there's like 14 parts to this thing. It's gonna walk you through like the UI, what everything does, basic modeling, sculpting, shading, geometry nodes, rendering, layout, lighting, so it's gonna basically, it's gonna run us through almost everything that Blender, well, a lot of things that Blender has to offer, and hopefully by the end of the tutorial, we're all gonna be able to, I don't know, at least start working in Blender for some 3D stuff. I've wanted to learn for a while because I want to work on my 3D models in Blender at some point. Because don't get me wrong, I do really love Vroid. I love Vroid, and I made my current model in Vroid, and it's nice. But also Vroid has like a lot of limitations, right? It's got a lot of limitations, and when you want to do very, very specific things, it requires you to do very specific workarounds that are sometimes annoying, sometimes just like not productive or not even worth it. Like in the amount of effort that it takes you, for example, to create let's say you want to do like a 3D asset specifically in Vroid. In the time it's going to take you to like learn and do that, you could have learned how to make a freaking model for it in Blender, rendered it, textured it, and like just placed it like that. So it's more of a efficiency kind of thing, if it makes sense. Efficiency and convenience, and it's more like if you're ever want to get really serious into 3D stuff, you're gonna want to do it in Blender. I'm not saying Vroid is bad. People can do amazing things in Vroid. But anything that you can do in Vroid, you can do in Blender, and it's a lot easier to actually learn and do it compared to the amount of effort it's going to take you to do it in Vroid. So, for any aspiring modelers in the chat or anything of the sort, those are my words of like my thoughts on it, since I am someone that makes models in Vroid. And I know I'm kind of like preaching to you guys, but I don't really know how to use Blender either, so this tutorial is going to be good for me as well. Hopefully. I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see, honestly, we'll see. I think that's the best I can say. We'll see. We'll freaking see. Other than that, I do feel bad for canceling yesterday's stream on you guys, but I just really wasn't feeling up to it. Like, my back was horrible. It genuinely hurt so much. It was ridiculous. Hi, yo, Bride. Welcome on in, gamer. How you doing? But yeah, I do feel bad. What be this? This is Blender, Bright. So this is 3D modeling software. We're gonna be learning. This was one of our Donothon goals. We're gonna be doing the Blender donut tutorial, which is actually like a 4-hour long tutorial, by the way. So we're gonna see how far we can get through it in one sitting. We're gonna be trying to learn how to 3D model in Blender. And also, for those of you who are interested, you are also able to follow along with me, because Blender is a absolutely 100% completely free software, so you guys can just download it, install it in under 5 minutes, and follow along the tutorial with me if you feel like it. So I kind of put like the YouTube window over in the corner here, you guys can see. It's covering like a little bit of Blender's user interface, but hopefully it's nothing too bad. Because I wanted you guys to be able. Oh god, Ed no, not the cube, not the cube. Hey Aslan, how you doing? Welcome on in. But I wanted you guys to kind of be able to follow along with what I'm doing, which is why I kind of added a window for the YouTube thing in the top right. I cropped out most of the unnecessary parts, so you guys should be able to see like what matters most and follow along if you choose to. But I was talking about earlier, I do feel bad for like just canceling stream yesterday. I really do. I wanted to stream and I wanted to do this yesterday, but genuinely, I don't know what happened or what was wrong. But like, I woke up and my back, specifically like my lower back, absolutely was murdering me. Like, I couldn't sit normally. I could kind of walk. I couldn't really crouch. I couldn't sit without being in pain. So I kind of just spent most of the day lying in bed. And today I'm definitely feeling a lot better, which I'm glad for. I'm happy for, because I was worried that I would be out of commission for like multiple days. And I really don't want to take any big breaks in the middle of this donathon, you know? Just because. I mean, because, sorry, I was responding on Discord, but it's just because, like, I don't know. We've kind of been on a good roll, I guess, with pretty much daily streams and whatnot for this donathon, and I kind of want to keep up the pace for as long as I can. And I feel bad when I just kind of make plans for a day and I'm like, and my body just decides, you know what? No, fuck you. You're not going to stream today. You're not going to do anything today. You're not going to be productive at all whatsoever. You're going to be confined to your bed for God knows what reason, because I don't know what the fuck I did that could have like messed up my back like that. Like, from how I'm feeling, it feels like I sprained something back there, right? But I'm like, I don't think I did anything that would warrant it being considered like, oh yeah, you sprained your back, you know? Like, I don't think I did anything to warrant it being like that, just like a sprain. I did push-ups, I did like sit-ups, I did jumping jacks, I did squats, but that was all part of the donathon, you know? Like, it was just part of the donathon, and it was basic exercises. So I don't know, man. Like, I genuinely don't know. It's weird. Like I said, I'm feeling better today, but it still kind of like hurts a little bit. So we'll see how long I can last today. I'm not gonna push my luck any more than I can. So I'm like, I'll be streaming today until my back basically like starts to actually hurt, like to the point where it starts to really bother me. So we're gonna go up until that point. I don't know how long that's gonna be. It could be like an hour, it could be 2 hours, it could be 3 hours, it could be 10 minutes. We'll see. But that's enough about me for today. How have you guys been? Did you miss me? What have you guys been up to in chat? And also welcome on in Bright. I hope that like things are fine over by your end, because I know you kept mentioning you had to go to the hospital, you know, for your mom. I hope that everything's okay with that. If you want, you can follow along with the Blender tutorial. Like I said, this is like split into 14 parts, so I don't know how many of them we're gonna cover today, but since we reached the goal for the donathon, I'm gonna make it my goal to cover the whole thing like on stream. It doesn't have to be over the course of one stream, but we're gonna cover the whole tutorial. Even if we have to split it into like bits and pieces, fragments, we'll see. Hell, I forgot. I was microwaving something. Did you say my name? Yeah, I said I hope everything's okay by you. I remember you mentioning you were visiting your mom at the hospital a few times. Hope everything's okay by you. Let me just respond to a message on Discord real quick. And I totally didn't forget to make a Discord post as well. Nope, I would never forget that. There we go. Oh no, wait, that's the wrong thing. That is the wrong paste. Oopsie doopsie doopsie oopsie. So I got home after a therapist appointment. Need to make a few more calls. Therapist appointment. Well, I hope it went well for you, Aslan. She's still in the ICU, but at least this new hospital seems better. It's a bit far though. What, was the last hospital not like treating her properly? If so, that kind of fucking sucks, man. It genuinely sucks if the hospitals weren't treating her well. Especially like when someone is a patient, you want them to be treated well. I don't know, over here, like my mom was in the hospital for a little bit due to a surgery and they treated her pretty well. They kind of ended up releasing her early, but she's fine for the most part, I think, you know. Donut tutorial. There we go. Had to make a quick post, but there we go. But yeah, so I'm gonna start up the videos now. So you guys, let me know if it ends up being too loud or too quiet. If you can actually follow along, you should be able to see it relatively well, I think.
This is Blender, open source 3D software that can be used to make animations, visual effects, game assets.
Let me know if you guys can hear it just fine.
3D. And best of all, it's 100% free.
Like,
will be.
You guys should be able to see this, right?
Used it before, but you want to learn it, well, then you're in the right place. This is a tutorial for complete beginners. I've been using Blender for 20 years, so I'm just gonna apologize. You guys know this tutorial is intended for the latest version of Blender. If you guys are interested in following along with me, which is Blender 4. Current version is 4.2.3. Just so you guys know. Man, I can't wait to download Blender and then make a 3D cast of your feet. I mean, what? Hey, man, listen. You can do that if you want. Whatever your reason for like wanting to learn this software, as long as it motivates you to learn and improve and like get a new skill, go for it. Because 3D modeling is a really cool skill to have, and no, you never know when it could come in handy, especially if you like wanna get a job in the field. There's a lot of things you can do. Heck, even for me, where I'm studying graphic design, knowing how to 3D model is actually gonna be really helpful. Because sometimes you want to incorporate 3D things into like design elements, or just sculpting in general is also really cool to learn. I'm gonna be honest. I just really want to learn 3D modeling. I blame VTubers. Okay, VTubers got me into this, so I blame VTubers. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear it just fine. Let me know if it's too quiet. How to use all of its core features, and by the end
you should be able to hear it
with not only the confidence to start your own projects, but with your very own donut animation. And I know this.
So yeah, this is what we're gonna be making.
I promise you it's achievable for a complete beginner, and I say that with confidence because many already have. This is actually the 4th version of this tutorial. I made the first donut tutorial back in 2016, and I've been remaking it every few years to keep up with Blender's development.
Yeah, so this dude is like freaking insane. He's been making these tutorials, like I said, since 2016 for every single version of Blender. So you can see, like, he's been teaching people how to 3D model. One sec, my brother's here. Let me just there we go. Sorry about that. Was discussing. I was negotiating with my brother. So yeah, let's continue our journey into Blender. Dude, you know how long the new donut tutorial is? Speak in English. Did you do the original one or like?
I'm literally the type of person who starts Blender in one version and then he zaps it for so long that this version comes out and then I start.
Oh, this is like his 4th version of the tutorial.
Blender 4 is.
Yeah, Blender, and Blender 5 is coming out soon.
Yes, and then they will be Blender 5.
Shit, Denka's brother is here. Hide your body pillows. The fuck? Why would you have a body pillow of my brother? That's weird. He's not even husbando material. You're not! You're a workaholic! You know I'm right. You know I'm right. By the way.
You're not right. Working 300 hours per month is completely normal.
Chad, is it normal to work 300 hours a month? Let's discuss this real quick. Like civil individuals. Like civil individuals. Tell your brother I said hi. Bright says hi.
Hello, Bright. Are you?
Bro, you sound like you're dying. Fortnite. Boxy! Hi, Box. I have something very, very important to tell you, okay, Box?
One of those days.
Are you listening? This is very important. Also, weren't you coding on Discord bot? But okay, this is very important, Bunny Boxu. This message is for your ears only. There we go. I think you heard it. I'm ill. This better be. Listen, me opening a can of Pepsi is very important. It is very important, okay? I'm coding because I wanna. Cola! Yeah, it's Pepis. Come on over. I got 2 cans. One for you as well. Also, wait, you're ill? And you didn't tell me? What the hell, man? While you crack open a cold one without me, hashtag fake friend. Yes, I am a fake friend. Wait, way to get parasocial on me, Bright. Oh my god. Why would I be? I don't know, because I ask, how are you? And you're like, oh, I'm fine, just a little bit sleep deprived. And then I find out you're ill. Like, how do you think that makes me feel, huh? How do you think that makes me feel? Yeah, dude, I'm fucking dead. And take care of yourself, man. You need to relax because you got ill yesterday. What were you doing? What were you doing to make yourself ill? Is anything even real about you? Are you a VTuber? Do you actually live on the moon? Are you even a bunny? Yes, no, and yes. Respectfully. Cola on the moon, real. I know, right? To be fair, actually, wait. Boggs, have you seen Dr. Stone? Out of curiosity. Because there's an episode like where they make cola in there that I think you would really appreciate. What you're making in Blender, by the way, it's in the stream title. We are learning how to make a donut. It is the primal Blender tutorial. The primal tutorial for Blender. So we're going to be making donuts, as you can see here. You should be able to see it in the corner. We are doing version 4 of this freaking massive tutorial. We're going to be making donuts and we're going to have fun doing it. To be fair, like a donut is kind of a simple thing to make shape-wise, right? But texturing it, adding glaze, sprinkles is what I'm interested in as well. Like, just to see what, like, the whole process of it, you know? Hopefully, this is a can I eat your donut? Sure, when I'm done with it, I'll send it over. Like I said earlier on stream, I've been trying to get into Blender for a while. And by trying, I mean I had it installed on my PC, but haven't opened it for the last 2.5 years. So I'm like, you know what? I'll put it on the Donothon goal, which we did reach. And thank you guys again so much. I appreciate every single contribution. And even if you can't contribute, I appreciate you guys hanging out. But I put it up as a goal, and I'm like, you know what? We're finally going to actually get into Blender. And we're going to start learning. And hey, I put the tutorial up in the corner so Chad can also, like, you know, learn along with me if you guys want, you know? And then maybe we can compare donuts. It's just been crypto mining in the background for 2 years, bruh. Cool. Bro, can you imagine if Blender just turned out to be a crypto miner? That'd be crazy. Like, that would be absolutely nutty. I can confirm. I've seen... Wait, you've seen it be a crypto miner? What the fuck? That's insane, man. I actually don't know how to react to that. It's crazy. What Bright said? Oh, the fembussy. Oh, okay. Yeah, you've seen a little sneak peek of the design, yes. But that's the most you're going to see until we reach the goal, the big goal. And just in case you guys have forgotten, let me pull out. Let me pull out the big old board. Here it is. Let me pull out the board. So these are our goals and incentives for the Donathon. I'm hyped for it. Yep. Dog, it's so cool. I mean, listen, I'm really hyped for it as well, but we actually gotta fund it first. So you guys can see at 1.8K, we're gonna do the complete reveal for the design. Like, so at 1.8K, we're gonna do a full reveal on the design. We currently got... Oh my god! Boxu! Thank you for gifting Chloe a sub. Oh my god. Let me give you a shout out just for that one, you little nerd. You actually scared me for a second there, and you hit me with a prop, SMH. You actually did scare me there for a second, but not... Okay, thank you for gifting a sub to Chloe. I appreciate it. But, so, as you guys can see, we have reached our first 6 goals. So, QA stream is going to be happening way later in the week. I'm giving people time. Scared more than scream crazy. You actually did kind of scare me, yeah. So, I'm going to give people a bit more time for the QA stream, which is why... Okay, box. Which is why I haven't done it yet. I posted on social media as well, apart from Discord, so we can get as many questions in as possible for this. We'll do the Uwu rap cover when I end up having time to record it. And regarding the maid outfit, I'm going to work on that sometime after the Donathon, okay? As for the chat pics, my Twitter profile picture, I am going to make a Discord post actually about that, like a Discord thread about it. And we can work towards that. So our next goal is going to be in $90 more, which is at 300, which is going to be ASMR fanfiction reading. So if you guys want to hear that, make sure you contribute. Also, let me put box in. Box 1 sub. There we go. Thank you so much, Boxy. I appreciate it. I wrote you down in the notepad. I'm writing down everybody actually, as best as I can to keep up with everybody who contributes. Focus you. Okay. That I'll do the same. How's that sound? There we go. Okay. That's enough stalling. Let's actually start up Blender. So I'm gonna hide this and boot up the video. There we go. Let me know if you guys can't hear. If you guys can't hear it too well,
from having never used 3D,
let me know.
Successfully making their own donuts. One artist even snuck his into a little film called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh my god, donuts!
Clever. So if you're ready to take your first steps in 3D, hit the subscribe button and let's begin. First, go to blender.org/download or just click the link in the description. Then, obviously, you got to hit the big download button. Once downloaded on Windows, double-click it and then just go through the installer steps. But if you're on a Mac, just drag it into the Applications folder. Then just find the Blender
Macs
shortcut
are
and
weird.
open it. Then once it's open, just click anywhere off the splash screen to close it, and welcome to the wonderful world of 3D.
My God,
First
it's a
tip,
cube.
Do not get overwhelmed. If you go clicking around, you might find lots of buttons and some of them with very scary names. And it can
Yeah,
get
there's a
very
lot.
overwhelming very quickly.
There's definitely a
The thing is,
lot.
you know, is Blender can do a lot of things, which means it has a lot of tools, but you don't need to know every tool in order to do what you want to do. If you're familiar with the 80-20 rule, there's really only 20% of Blender's features that you end up using 80% of the time. And that's what I'm planning to teach you in this tutorial series. So stay with me and you should be fine. We'll start making the donut in the next video. In this one, we're just going to look at the interface and I'm going to show you some of the basic navigation.
Okay.
So for starters, this view, this window right here is your 3D viewport, and it's where you'll spend probably 90% of your time because it is the 3D world. So you can see that we have three objects here. We've got a camera, we've got a cube, and we've got a lamp.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't even think I could click these. Okay, so I can actually click these. Camera and oh, this is lighting. Okay. So this is the camera and this is lighting and the cube.
And when we click on it, you can see it's selected because it has the yellow outline. So let's delete the default cube, of course, and replace.
Oh my God, we're deleting the cube, chat. No more cube. No more Minecraft. It's cubant. It's cube over.
Replace it with something else. So we could do that by going up to the add menu
Okay.
up here, or by remembering the hotkey, which is Shift A. So Shift A for add. So usually the one you're looking for is underneath mesh. So these are called your primitives, and it's what
Killed
you
my
use
brother.
to
No.
start something when you're looking to make.
I
an object.
didn't.
Like if
Well,
you
I
wanna
didn't
make a
mean it,
chair,
box.
You might start with a cylinder as the chair leg, and then build out from there. But the one I'm sure you're all very curious, you want to click it. It's the monkey. So let's just click the monkey.
You know, he's right. The moment I saw a monkey, I'm like, I need this. Oh my God, it's a monkey! It's a monkey! Yep. Yep. This is amazing software right here.
Monkey? Well, fun fact, every 3D software has its own little random complex object.
Why is that a shape? Why would that not be a shape? What? You're telling me you wouldn't want a monkey head? Like it's just a default shape you can make.
To test things like shaders or complexities of scenes. So 3ds Max has the Utah teapot, Houdini has the toy, and I think Pig's Head. Blender has the monkey.
Oh my, okay. Out of these three, you cannot tell me that Blender doesn't win. Fucking the monkey face looks the. Why would you want a teapot when you can have a monkey? A monkey box. Give me the pot. No. Nah. Give me the pot. Why would you want the teapot, though? That's the real question. Why would you want the teapot?
And it's actually called the Suzanne monkey head, which you can see in the top left there.
Oh.
Named after the orangutan from the film Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Well, the more you
Random
know.
Piece of trivia. So let's get a better look at it. And to that, we need to orbit, which you can do by on your mouse there, your scroll wheel. That is called your middle mouse button. If you push that in and then drag around, that is.
Okay, that's gonna be a problem, Chad. My middle mouse doesn't work. That's gonna be a problem.
Now orbiting. Now, for my laptop users, you've just panicked because you realize you don't have a mouse. How are you going to orbit around? First of all, probably a good idea to get a mouse for 3D work. It will come in handy. But in a pinch, you can get by without it just by up here in the top right-hand corner, this little gray circle, anywhere in the gray section. If you just left-click, drag on that, that will do the exact same thing.
Okay. Problem solved. See? Problem solved. Monkey. Oh my God, look at its mouth. Look at its mouth. It's just monkey. It's beautiful.
Or if you want, you can go to Edit Preferences, and then underneath Input, there's Emulate 3-button mouse. And that means that if you hold down Alt and then left-click drag, that will do the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Where did he say to go?
Edit
Preferences. Okay, Edit Preferences. I'm actually gonna set that up right now.
Preferences, and then underneath
Input. Emulate 3-button mouse. Okay, yeah, this is a lot nicer. This is how I'm used to doing it in VRoid, which is why I wanted to set it up.
There's Emulate 3-button mouse, and that means that if you hold down Alt and then left-click drag, that will do the exact same thing. Also, whilst you are in User Preferences, you might want to go to Interface, and you've got Resolution Scale. If you're on a 4K monitor, you might find that your menus and buttons are really small, and you kind of have to like squint in to see it. So
I think the menus are good for me.
4K monitor around about 1.5. Since this is a tutorial, I'll make it nice and big so you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
Orbiting around with the middle mouse button. If we want to zoom in, we can do that just by scrolling in and out. We could also do it by going up to the magnifying glass tool there, and then just left-click dragging and then moving the mouse back and forth. That does the same thing.
Dude, the fact we're 5 minutes into this thing and we've only like gone over how to use the camera and zoom in tells you how much this program has to offer in terms of controls.
Zoom as well. Okay, so one thing you might notice looking at this is that it's not very pretty, right? It's just kind of got this flat, bland, gray lighting over everything. And that's because this state right now is called viewport shading. And it's kind of a lightweight, optimized way to view the scene just as you're building it. But if you want to create a final pretty image, that's called rendering. And you can actually switch into rendered mode by going up here into the top right-hand corner. You can see we're currently in the viewport shading mode. If we go 2 across, you should see rendered view mode. So if we click that, your computer might stall for a quick second whilst it loads it in, but you can see it's now different. We have directional light. We have shadow cast across the...
Let me press that. So this one, right? Oh God, our PC's dying. Wait, are we alive? No, Blender froze. Oh my God. Blender actually froze. Imagine if this is what like crashes Blender, me trying to render a monkey. PC ruined. Monkey too strong, couldn't render. Yeah. I guess this is why we get like those really, really beefy CPUs and whatnot. Oh, there we go, it rendered. Solo! Hi, Solo! Welcome on in. Loading, yeah. There we go, we got monkey. We got monkey. I'm actually curious, how much is Blender using resource-wise right now? Not that much. Honestly, not that much resource-wise, surprisingly. I guess just rendering is what would utilize it. But how you doing, Solo? Welcome on in, gamer. Spent hours last night looking for a furry artist for a friend. Did you find it?
The monkey.
Did you find him?
It's now currently being lit by this lamp up here. So if I wanted to, zoom in on that lamp there and just kind of like move it around.
Where the fuck did all of them go?
It's kind of hard to focus
I don't know. I know a few.
Exactly not in the right view. And that's because we are centered on our monkey right now. We need to change the focus. We need to pan to something else. So we could do that one of 2 ways. One, if you're on a laptop, you could use the little move tool there. That will do that. Or everyone else, shift, middle mouse click, drag, that will do the same thing. So middle mouse is for orbiting, shift middle mouse is for pan to change your view to something else.
Okay, let's see if... Okay, there you go, that works. Okay, so I now panned it all the way up here. Okay. I had to reach my arms out far to find any. I mean, did you try checking VGen? There's always plenty of artists over on VGen. But also, what kind of commission are you? Is your friend trying to get?
Because it's too moody. I want to be able to see the monkey's face there. So to move an object, you could do it one of two ways. One, you could go over to the left-hand corner here, and you've got the move tool. When you click that, you can see that the selected object, the lamp, has this this gizmo, it's called, with these axes on it. And if I just clicked and dragged on any of those arrows there, you can see I can move it along any of those axes. I could also just click on that white circle there.
Needed them for emotes and a channel banner?
Depending on my view.
I see.
It's kind of tedious. Every time you want to move something, you have to like go to that tool and then find the arrows and yada yada. So actually, most people in Blender prefer to use the hotkeys. So we just keep it in the default selection state here, and instead remember the hotkey, which is G for grab. Now I've just tapped the key, and you'll notice as I move my cursor.
Is Nomi a furry artist though?
My cursor. It's not. My cursor isn't even actually close to it.
Also, hi, Karama.
My cursor could be on the other side of the screen, and I could tap G, and it will move it.
Like specifically a furry artist? I don't think Nomi does furry stuff.
Working this way, but once you get used to it, you realize it's actually.
She's an artist who does furry emotes. Oh, does she? There you go. You can ask Nomi.
You can move it. Your cursor could be over here, and then just tap it, and you're moving it. So whilst you're in this move state, if you want to cancel a move,
oh shit, that's one of them I found. What, Nomi? Really? Oh my god, that's crazy. It's crazy that you found Nomi. Absolutely insane. Unironically, well, yeah, you should commission Nomi then. Don't you give me the free dots, Karama. Throws hands up in disbelief. I don't know. I know plenty of artists, but some literally when I ask them, like, do you do furry stuff? They're like, no, I'm not touching that with a 5-foot pole. So it's like, it's genuinely, I wasn't sure, okay? Wasn't freaking sure.
Ways you could just hit escape, or you could right click. Then if you want to
oh, G work. Okay. If I want to unselect, okay. There we go. Okay, so we can just move the lights for the monkey like the G, and then when we want to unselect it, it's escape. Okay. Okay. Let's leave it here so we can. Let's just escape for now.
From a movement, like say I want to move my lamp here and I like the movement, I could just do a single left click. So again, if I want.
Okay, so I need to do left click. There we go. Okay, so that's how you confirm it with the left click again. But also, Solo, if you're interested, we're currently doing the Blender Donut tutorial. We're going to be trying to learn how to 3D model since we reached that goal on the Donathon.
I want to cancel something, just right click.
If you're interested, you can join us in learning.
Confirm the movement, left click.
Blender's like a 5-second download anyway.
Axes, like, you know, I like these arrows here and I want to be able to move it on just a specific axis. Well, I can do that whilst I'm in that grab state as well. So after I have hit the G key to grab it,
you already know it? Oh, nice,
the letter
dude.
Of the axes that I want to move it on. So if you don't know, in the real world and in the 3D software, there are 3
X, Y, Z
dimensions. There's the X axis, which I can move by hitting the X key, the Y axis to move it back and forth along the Y axis with the Y key, or the Z axis to move it up and down.
I know what XYZ is. I play Yu-Gi-Oh, okay? I know what XYZ means.
Z, or the method that I actually prefer to use is whilst you're in that.
Oh god, no, Kirby, no, Kirby, bad Kirby, not the monkey, Kirby, no.
Middle mouse button. And then pull out. You can
Thank you for the redeem, Karam. I appreciate it.
Line that pulls out from the center, and then if you just drag out and move around, it will snap it to the nearest axis, which again is maybe an odd way to work, but it's actually really handy because it means you don't have to think of the letter and locate it on your keyboard.
I don't really ever think about the letter though. I just kind of instinctively press it.
Find that.
You do 3D modeling for every engine you rebuild so people can learn easier. Oh shit! I actually didn't know that. That's awesome.
Exact axes that I'm looking for. And so it's very fast to just quickly move the lamp exactly where I want it. By the way, if you're finding it hard to remember all of the keyboard shortcuts that I've mentioned, I've actually put together a PDF, a cheat sheet of Blender's most common hotkeys, and you can
been doing it since you were 13. Damn. Do you think I can learn how to blend how to blend? So do you think I can learn? Can I be a good blender, as they say? So for 2 years now, don't even joke about that shit, Karama, bro. Which is gonna come in here for and bonk me. It's like, but you had 13-year-old in your community at some point, Legasp. Blender Super. Also, that explains so much about you, Solo. So much. Like, if you're a 3D modeler, no wonder all the crazy furry chicks are like flocking to you. That explains so much. Blender super easy? If you say so, then I'm really excited to learn, honestly. Because I had this fucking thing installed on my PC for 2.5 years, but I've never opened it. So yeah. 2.5 fucking years, bruv.
The link in the description so you could print it out or you could just have it on a separate monitor while you work. Also, if you are from another,
you don't ever mention it. I mean, you know, they can tell. They can tell. Solo.
What you are used to. So if you actually go to preferences, just for those people that are from other softwares, if you change the key map to industry compatible, you'll find that these shortcuts are probably more in line with what you remember from other software. I'll also put a link to a cheat sheet that is just for the industry compatible key maps that somebody else put together. I've got nothing to do with it, but I'll put that link there so you can check it out as well.
What's one Blender tip you'd give to a newbie like Denka? Yeah,
just keep that.
That's actually a good question.
Say, as I am moving
how would
here,
you
I'm
teach
like,
me Blender?
This looks really good. I've got some nice Rembrandt lighting across the monkey's face. I want to take a photo. I want to take a nice pretty image of this and post it on socials for clout, right? Well, I could take a screenshot of it, but that would be silly because it's got all these lines all over. It's all noisy, right? We don't like it. The way you take a photo, a pretty image in Blender, is to do a render. So you could do that one of two ways, by going up to render and hitting render image, or remembering the hotkey which says next to it
F12.
So when you do that, a little window will pop up. It will use your CPU or GPU.
Jesus fucking Christ. CJ! Hi, CJ. How you doing? Welcome on in. Thank you for the jump scare, you little shit. Spend more time focusing on taking the model in from multiple angles. Can you elaborate a bit more on why that's the piece of advice you chose to give? Fuck, that scared me as well. That's what you get, Box.
And it will render out a pretty image. And from here, you could go image and then save as, and save it as a PNG or wherever you want to save it. But you might notice looking at this, that this is actually a different view than what we have here, right? So
how's the Denka? The Denka's pretty good. We're fulfilling our DONOTHON goals. We're fulfilling our DONOTHON goals that we've reached so far, so we're learning Blender today. So what do you mean that's what I get, you stinker? Because you always jump scare me. Because it's a 3D model and small things can go unnoticed. Okay.
Got a nice view of the monkey's face, but there is a different view. And the reason for that is when you do a render, it's not rendering from the view that you're looking at currently. It's always going to render from the point of view of the camera. So this is our camera over here, and it's looking from this angle. And we can actually look through the camera by just clicking the little camera icon there. Or by remembering the hotkey, which is number pad 0. So how do we?
Also, I'm gonna chill. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, CJ.
It's going to be a little different to other software packages, but you're supposed to like hit G to move it, and then like middle mouse to zoom.
Okay, so we can move like that.
To, like, move it along.
That's gonna be good for when I actually decide that I want to take screenshots of stuff.
Actually, what a lot of users prefer, especially those from other software packages, is if you've got your camera selected. Which, by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but up here, this is your outliner. It's kind of an inventory of every item that you've got in your scene. Okay, so with the camera there selected, if I hit N is to bring up the properties, N for properties for whatever reason, and then go to view, there's a little box there that just says lock to camera to view. So now, with that active, if I just use the same keyboard shortcuts as before,
okay, yeah, that's actually really handy.
Shift middle mouse to drag it. You can see that the camera is moving.
So I can literally just manually move it like that.
I can set it up exactly as I want, then hit N again, and then I can disable that. And then now as I pull out, you can see the camera.
Yeah, and then
exactly
if we decided to render it,
a lovely, pretty render.
If we decided to render it, then it would be from that perspective.
We post this on the internet, people are bound to make fun of us. Imagine that. Well, we could give it some color, right? So with our monkey head selected, we can go over to here to the properties. So this properties section is where you might.
Let me select the monkey. Okay, I've selected the monkey. Okay, I've selected the monkey.
Might spend the other, I don't know, another 5 to 8%. I don't know, getting too exact there. You might spend another 5% of your time in this section, but it's where all of the properties for things are in Blender. So for example, you've got like the render properties, like the size of the image that you're saving something as is defined there. And some of these properties will stay here no matter what is selected, but others are selection dependent. So you can see actually, if I click the camera there, you can see I get a little camera tab at the bottom there. But if I select my monkey, you'll see the camera tab disappears, but instead I have some other ones that appear. So one that we might want to change is underneath material, and this will enable us to material, change the color to something else, essentially. So underneath here where it's got new, I'm just gonna hit new. And then you've got a bunch of options, very confusing. IOR, subsurface. Again, don't worry about it. We'll get to all of that later on. The one that...
One sec. I'm going to pause it. Okay, there we go. I was like, I'm going to pause it until my Blender actually decides to respond there, because Blender kind of just went non-responsive on me.
Finds the color is the base color. So if I do a single left click on that white box there, I can then change this color to whatever I want. I could make it an odd, creepy skin tone monkey head.
I can make a cobalt like monkey
and do a render. Okay, so hey, all right, it's better, but still it's too simple. I think people will think we haven't put enough effort into this.
It's too simple and still looks very blocky, in my opinion.
Another object. Let's give the monkey a hat. So if we want to add another object, how do we?
Is this a fresh install or has it been running on your PC for a long time? Blender 4 is a fresh install. I finished installing and setting it up right before stream. And it goes non-responding because it has to generate stuff. That's pretty normal. Like, I make a joke about it, but that's pretty normal with software like this.
We do it? Well, we could go to the add menu, like I mentioned before, or the hotkey Shift A. So what sort of hat do we want to add? We could do a boxy hat. Let's do a party hat with a cone. So once we've added that,
Shift A, which cone? Okay.
You can see it's just plopped it straight in the center, intersecting our monkey. So we need to move it. We can move it and we could grab it with the G key. So it's now moving it just on our cursor there. I don't want to move it just freehand though, because I like the position, but I just want to move it up. So I'm going to hit Z to move it along the Z axis. Right, I like it there. So once I like the placement, I'm just going to do a single left click. Okay, great. But too big.
Hold on. That's fine, and there we go, too big.
See, need to learn another tool, which is scale. So we could go to the scale tool there, and then we get this familiar little axes there. But again, most people prefer to remember the hotkey, which for scale is just S. So S to scale.
Okay.
So resizing that. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's move it down again. So G and Z. Okay. All right, but yeah, let's say we want to make it a little taller. Okay, so we could scale it along just the Z axis. So S and then Z, whoops, S, Z, there we go. And it's now making it a tall party hat. Scale it down. There we go. Look at that. You're very bland party if it's gray there. So let's give it another material, an exciting color, a vibrant aqua color. Why not? Give that a render by hitting F12. Okay. Camera is in the wrong position, so let's go to camera view mode with number pad 0.
Okay, let me get it back a little bit back. I'm trying my best to keep up with the tutorial. Okay. try my best.
So let's give it another material. An party hat. Scale it down. There we go. Ha! Look at that. You're very bland party if it's gray though. So let's give it another material.
So we go to material, new material. There we go. It doesn't lag this time.
An exciting color. A vibrant aqua.
Vibrant aqua. Okay. Yeah. Make it aqua. There. That'll work.
Color. Why not? Give that a render by hitting F12. Okay. Camera is in the wrong position, so let's go to camera view mode with number pad 0.
I'll learn camera stuff later because I'm not really too concerned about rendering.
That little thing I had before, I'm going to hit G and then middle mouse, just tap it once. As I said, it's a little awkward. Blender's the way it handles with the camera, but anyway, just move that out and then I gotta rotate it down. All right, so I'm gonna rotate. So with the camera selected,
there we go.
R, then middle mouse, and it's now kind of like freehand rotating around. So
we got a monkey with a party hat, chat. I would say that's pretty productive.
This is just a fool around session, so don't worry if you're making mistakes. We'll get to actual practical building stuff in the next part. I'm just trying to find ways to throw in these like fundamental tools. Rotate, right?
Hat,
the monkey's head
exactly,
is just,
hat.
He needs to look dead on at the camera, and currently he's off. Ah, what an excuse to use the rotate tool. So you could enable the rotate tool, right? The familiar axes there. You could click and rotate it around like that. Again, most people prefer to remember the hotkey, which is R to rotate, right? So it's now just freehand rotating on my cursor. Remember the axes, as I mentioned before, can be used for any mode.
Oh.
So the X axis will rotate it back and forth. The Y axis, tilt it, or Z, there we go, to turn it towards the camera.
Oh, I see.
Right? And there you go, F12. And we've done it. Let's save it. Let's upload it to ArtStation and then just wait for the recruiters, essentially. All right, let's start a new scene so that we...
I don't know, Chad. I think the monkey's pretty good, right? I mean, you know, I'd say I can get a job in 3D modeling with this monkey. What do you guys think? Like, you know, this is my NFT monkey with a party hat. Or original NFT. Don't download it without my, you know, don't download, please. You guys wouldn't download an NFT, right? Right? But jokes aside, you'd have to pay me to accept this. What if I pay? What if I paid you by kissing you on the lips, huh? Would that be payment enough for you, little bunny Boksu? I want cola. Fine, I'll give you a can of Pepsi. You little dork. I'll give you a can. Oh god. I'm actually burping a lot right now. Like a borp. Bipis, exactly. Or cola flavored chapstick, that too. Yeah. I'm pretty sure like if I had cola flavored chapstick, fucking Box would just smooch the hell out of me. It's more concerning than anything else, you know? Box would just be like, get over here, you beautiful dork.
We can get F12 station and then just wait for the recruiters, essentially. All right, let's start a new...
All right, new general. Don't save. Fuck the monkey.
scene so that we can get ready for part 2.
All right, part 2.
We know how Blender functions.
So we know the essentials of Blender, chat. So clearly we're ready to make like a 3D VTuber model. You know, see, this is my current work in progress. Bunny Boksu VTuber 3D model. Do not fuck the money. I'm not gonna fuck the money. The money's gonna fuck me. Oh, you meant monkey. My bad. I'd rather not fuck with the monkey either. I'm gonna be honest. Those fuckers can be vicious. You can try, but those fuckers are vicious. Dang, that's accurate. I mean, Denka the furry. No. That is not furry. Okay, Kurama, that is not furry. That is zoophiliac. There is a difference. I am not a zoophiliac. I'm not into that. There is very much a difference between the two, okay? But no, the money will always fuck you, okay, Box? Just give that motherfucker a cardboard texture and a few holes in your set. What about the tits and ass? I've seen the fembook soup fan art, you know? But no, genuinely, money is gonna fuck me. Like, we still need $2,000 for the debut. And even when like we raise that money, the moment I have $2,000 in my hands, it's all gonna like just vanish, like poof. It's gonna vanish and it's gonna transform into a beautiful, beautiful femboy bunny with very big thighs. I'm actually planning to get rid of the boobs because boxes are flat. Really? Huh? I don't know. I kind of like your boobs. You know, they were nice. The femboxu design was kind of nice, you know? But hey, if you want to get rid of it, go for it. It's your design. I don't judge. Big butt and dumpy, though. You know what? You know what? That's a fair trade-off. That is a very, very fair trade-off. Let me some A-cups call me Tyler the Creator. I do not know what you're referencing there, so I'm gonna be real with you right now. I have no idea what you're referencing, man. Absolutely no idea. Okay. Okay, let us continue. We are on part 2 of the donut tutorial. I figured this would also be a nice change of pace, you know, compared to always playing games. And it is. We can just kind of chat, listen to music, and work on this. You can also see why things take me a very long time to get through, because I get distracted very easily. And like I go from like, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow this tutorial to, oh hey, let's chat about boxes, tits, and ass. You know, I am very, very easily distracted.
Start building that donut. So,
okay.
As before, let's, well, first of all, just to repeat, make sure you are working with a new scene. Completely new scene. Don't want any remaining monkey heads lying around. What
if I want a monkey head?
Slate, and let's delete our default cube, just with the delete key, and let's replace it with a new object. You might remember the hotkey for that
Shift
is
A.
Shift A. And as I mentioned before, you usually want what is underneath mesh because these are your primitives.
Okay.
So we want to start with something that most resembles what it is we're building. And if it was a house, you might start with a cube. If it was a vase, you might start with a cylinder. In our case,
Taurus.
We want the donut-shaped one, although mathematicians call it a torus for some reason. So let's add that.
Okay.
Now, if I zoom in by scrolling up.
Oh my God, chat, we're done. Okay, chat, tutorial is done. We made a donut. There you go, we're done. There you go, tutorial's done, stream's done. Clearly we got a donut to create. Roll credits, exactly. Stream's over, yeah, we made a donut. See, chat, Blender's really, really easy to use, okay? Jokes aside, let's continue.
Something resembling a donut. Looks like a pretty weak looking donut.
Scatter, no, don't scatter. I still need you guys. I love you guys, okay?
Very flimsy.
Don't leave me alone.
The donut before it's cooked, when they just drop it into the vat and it's just this little wispy thing. So immediately after you do some actions,
more polygons.
You have options to change it, and the options are hidden down here in the bottom left hand corner. You see a little box, and if you click that box, you see options. And look, we can change the dimensions of our torus. Now, something to note is that these options in Blender only appear immediately after you have done that action. If you do another action, like say deselect your torus by mistake, it's gone, right? Because Blender has assumed you have moved on. You've accepted the state of your donut.
The state of my donut.
Right? Now, if you haven't done anything drastic or changed this object in some severe way, you can temporarily bring it back by hitting F9. I never actually remember that hotkey. I just remember that immediately after I have added an object, if I want to tweak it, now's my chance before I
set your PC on fire. At one point I will.
So we could change, the size of it here. We can also change the resolution. I'll use the term resolution loosely. To make it higher or lower fidelity. And a mistake that a lot of beginners make.
Wait, I can make... Oh my god, it's a triangle.
The exact mistake I made way back in 2003 when I started learning Blender is they go, well, I need a realistic looking donut, so I guess I need to go really high resolution. I remember my first project, one of my first projects was for a high school film project, and I wanted to have a close-up of a face. Didn't realize faces were going to be difficult, but I went really high poly, and then it was just an absolute nightmare to work with. So the reason you don't want this is that, for starters, things that are high poly are very slow to render, and they're very hard to work with if you want to tweak the shape of it. But also, as you learn and you grow with 3D, you'll discover that it is a lot easier to add resolution to something later on, but it is very difficult to take it away if you've already built it into it and you don't need it. So, long way to say, what we actually want is to have as few polys,
really, 32,
as you can get away with. So I'm going to go with 32 major and 12 minor.
Okay.
Don't worry that it looks all jagged, because we will fix that in a moment. Now, the major and minor, this is really up to you, but I find that something that looks it's kind of chunky, like a fat donut, just looks really delicious. So I'm going with something around about this size. Okay. And once I'm happy with this, once I'm ready to click off, I click off, the options are gone, and this is it. This is the donut that I am now working with.
We have a donut chat.
Look higher resolution, less jagged. Well, one way is to use smooth shading. So if you right click with your object selected, go to shade smooth.
Oh shit, okay.
This is immediately better.
That's actually wild. Okay, so basically we don't even need to make it super high poly. Looks good. We got an actual donut.
Getting too technical, this is kind of a fakery. It's sort of like the shader is telling the renderer that this is a really high poly dense mesh when it really isn't. It's just basically kind of like averaging out faces, and anyway, it's very technical, but basically means it's not going to add anything to your render time, but it's going to look smoother. And so this is generally what you want for something that is smooth and organic.
Okay, so that's basically like a little hack.
If you were
Gotcha.
rendering like architectural or like hard surfaces, like later on we're going to put this on a counter, then the object would obviously want to be flat. But in our case, we're just going to use shade smooth. But you might notice that looking at this, especially if you go side on, that you've got
some
this sort of
like jagged edges.
Jagged shape
around
here, right? So this
is what my poop looks like, a complete circle. What the fuck, box? That's a bit TMI, my dude. What the hell?
Wet is really breaking that illusion that this is a high poly or a smooth looking donut. But thankfully, rather than adding all of that complex density into the mesh itself and then making it hard to remove later on, there's another way through modifiers. So if we go over here to our properties, right, this very confusing, lots of option looking properties, click on the wrench, and this is the section called...
I'm silly and quirky, and regardless you're friends with me. I am friends with you, you're right. One of my best friends. Also, I'm also ill, give me a break. No, I will not give you a break. I'll give you a smooch though. That's the most you're getting.
And this is one of those object dependent things. So if you've got your camera selected, you won't see it. So it's only when you've got actual meshes that you might see this modifier.
Okay, then
so it's much easier to explain
to you little
add
cutie.
one. So up here, add modifier, and you got a range of options here that can do a whole number of things. The one that we're looking for is underneath generate, and it is called subdivision surface. And it is a really common modifier that you use all the time. In fact, it's so common, it's actually, you can just immediately add it to any object just by hitting Control 1. But don't do that because we've already got it, so there. Now, some of you might have just discovered that your donut has disappeared. If that is the case,
no, it
you
hasn't.
need to go to Edit, Preferences, and then underneath Viewport, where it's got Subdivision at the very bottom, Disable GPU Subdivision. That will then make the subdivision perform on your CPU instead of your GPU, which is maybe non-existent or not performing whatever.
My GPU is good. I got a 3060, bitch.
But if it's already working for you, don't disable it. Keep it going because GPU will be faster. So what exactly is this doing? Well, it's a lot easier to explain if we look at the shade flat mode, because we're not being tricked by the smooth shading there. If I set this levels viewport to 0, this is our original mesh. This is before
I can even see it before and after, yeah.
When we increase this, you can see that it is adding
basically looks
resolution
completely
to our
smooth
mesh.
if I
And
put
the
it on
more I
to
increase this viewport levels here, the finer and finer that detail becomes. So to explain it, because this is such a very, very common...
Not even a TI model SMH. Listen. TI was like double the price at the time, okay? I couldn't afford it. It was during the great GPU drought. What do you want from me? What do you want from me, eh? I already told you guys I bought my entire PC during the great crypto miner GPU drought. It was horrible. Under normal prices, I would have bought a 3080 Ti or something, and so it would have lasted me a lot longer and been a lot better. But you know, it is what it is. Gotta go walk my fish. Have fun with your hole. Ah, you're leaving me, Boxy. You're gonna make me cry. Wah. You're gonna make me cry. Boxy's leaving chat. But have fun walking your fish, and be careful not to leave your cat in the microwave for too long, either. That might be bad, Also, oh my god, what is that, Karama Blender Monkey? I just saw what you posted. And ironically, Donut County is a good game. Oh yeah, Donut County is a good game. I've actually played it before. It's fun. Shit, thanks for the cat reminder. You're welcome, Boxy. Okay, let's continue now.
Modifier. It's kind of important to understand how it's working. You can see that this is these squares here. These are called faces, by the way.
Okay.
And for each one of these faces here, as I add a level, you can see it's becoming 4 faces, right?
Oh.
And then now, if I zoomed in on this one face here,
yeah,
if
safe
I do
travels,
another
Boxy.
level, that's now become 4 faces. And then if I zoom in again, it's now become 4 faces. So it's exponentially adding detail. And you might also know that it is smoothing it out as well, like this jagged edge that we've got here.
Definitely.
Now
becomes really smooth.
So to quickly visualize that, if I just draw, imagine you've got a 90-degree corner, right? Like this. If you add a subsurf modifier, what it's going to do is it's going to add a point here, right? Because this is the extra detail. It's also going to take that point there and it's going to average it out. It's going to average it out between these points. And it's going to create another one there, another one there. So you go then.
Yeah, so it looks smoother, and then for the next one, it goes again and again and again the more you select it.
So it's going to take a point and it's also going to change it to make it look smoother, generally speaking. So there we go. So now as I increase this, you can see it's getting smoother and smoother. Now, the reason there are 2 options here, you've got levels viewport and levels render. So reminder, this gray area that we operate in is called our viewport. The render is the pretty version. So as an example, you can see if I just turned it off for the viewport, it looks very jagged. But then for my render, if I increase that to 3, if I do my render, which you can go up there, and render image, or remember the hotkey, F12, you can see that
okay, so the render is
smooth,
exclusively for when we render the image, I see.
Jagged. So the viewport, you want to generally keep it lightweight, and then the render time, that's where you want to get a really nice looking pretty image. So you want to often have 2 different levels.
Okay, I get it.
In our case though, I don't really think we need to go beyond 1, even for our final pretty image.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it at 1.
With shade smoothing turned on is good enough. And we're going to be adding more to the scene later on, so we don't want to make it too complex.
Okay.
So this is actually pretty good.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a perfect donut. And
that actually looks really good.
It's too perfect. You could spend decades trying to develop a machine in the real world that that made a donut this perfect, and you never would. This is so mathematically precise that the eye will always see this as looking fake. So that's actually a problem you learn pretty quickly in 3D, that things that are too perfect just look fake. So you have to spend time making things look misshapen and adding variation there like you see in the real world, because your eye expects to see it. So how do we do that? How do we make this donut look
I assume we like select a part of the donut
interesting?
and then raise it
I
a little
do
bit
that
or
by
deform.
changing the mesh itself. So this mode that we are in right now, where we can, click on different objects, is called object mode. And I know that because in the top left-hand corner, you can see we are in object mode. But if I click the drop down, you can see I get a number of other options here. And these options, again, will change depending on the object.
So I assume we go into sculpt mode then?
Light there selected. You can see I've only got object mode. My camera, I've only got object mode. But a mesh will give you extra options here. So let's enter into edit mode.
Okay, never mind. Edit mode. Okay.
Right. Now, you can see our mesh, our object has become something that looks weird. It's got a bunch of little points on it with lines and very technical. Well, that's because this is actually what the mesh is made up of. These little points here, which you can click on just by selecting, are called your vertices. The singular term is called vertex. I never say that. I like to just call
vertices.
regardless
Okay.
of whether it's one or two, just because you always get some comments that go, actually, it's called vertex if it is singular. Anyway, so these are called your vertices, and if you have two of them joined by a line, that is called an edge.
Okay.
And if you have four of them forming a face, then it's called a face. So with these, I can quickly change the shape of my object by using the same hotkeys as before. And if I want to move this, then I would simply tap
There we go. Okay.
G, right? And you can see it's now attached to my cursor. And then if I want to confirm its movement, I just do a single left click, and there it is. Now, if I go back into object mode, like that, you can see that my mesh has changed, okay? And by the way, the hotkey for jumping in and out of object and edit mode is just tab.
Really?
Okay? So you
Tab?
can see it's
Okay.
just toggling between those two
shit.
modes.
Okay.
Because it's so common that you want to just quickly change things that it's just easily accessible by that. Now, this is okay, right? But you can see it's like, it's got like some artifacting. It's like, it's not the
It doesn't look great.
lump, right? So how do we make it look a little more natural? Well, I mean, you could, you move one, drag it out, okay, click, and then I move, the next one next to it, right? I'll move that out, and then I'll move this one out a little bit, and then
I feel like that's gonna take too long if we always do it, though.
But it took me like 5 actions. Ridiculous, right? No one wants to do that. No one's got time for that. Thankfully, there is a tool in Blender just for this, and it's called proportional editing, and you can enable it up there in your toolbar. So if you
Wait, where did he click? I didn't see. Oh, okay. The little ball? Wait, where is it? Am I crazy? Transform pivot point, snap. Oh, proportional editing. Okay. There we go. There we go.
Toolbar. So if you enable that, now if I hit G and I move it out, you will see I get a little ring around my cursor there, and that is now changing the mesh around it. Now, a lot of tutorials were like, I don't see what's going on. You have to have something selected first.
Oh my god, that is massive.
And then when you hit G, you will see that little circle of influence. Okay, now this circle of influence, if I
it's a bit too big.
If I scroll up, you can see it's shrinking its circle of influence. And if I scroll down, it is expanding its influence. So it's only going to affect what is in that ring there.
Okay.
If you are on, if you don't have a mouse with a scroll wheel, you can also change the influence by using page up and page down. And if you don't have page up or page down because you're on a Mac keyboard, then what you would have to do is go to key map and then change your page up and page down to something
All I'm getting
else,
from this is like, if you're on a Mac, you're gonna suffer. My mouse just vanished. Uh-oh. There we go. My mouse vanished there for a second. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. That is not good at all.
Guys, you got to get a mouse. Get a mouse with a scroll wheel.
Yeah, just get a mouse.
I don't know, 50 cents or just in the nearest land.
Okay, wait. In what universe can you get a mouse for 50 cents? Fuck that shit. That's
get
BS.
a mouse because it's going to make your life in 3D a lot easier. Okay, so with this, I can now make quick work of lumpy shapes, okay? So I just drag that out. Okay, I've got a little lumpy shape there. Maybe I go down here and I pull this up just by hitting G, moving it up. Okay. So already this is looking a little more natural, right?
I wouldn't really know, because the only donuts I've ever seen have been like relatively, I don't know. Like, I've never seen a donut. Okay, the donuts over here that we have don't really have holes in them. That's the thing, right? So I don't really know what a proper natural donut is supposed to look like. So I don't know.
Because even if we were making a stylized world for a Pixar movie or something,
I would select around here and raise it a little bit, right? Oh, wait, that's wrong thing. Shit.
like that.
Raise it a little bit more. There we go. That's maybe a little bit too much, actually. Maybe a little bit like this. There we go. Good enough. I would say good enough. One second, guys. Okay, that looks good. Sorry about that. I was just sending a message.
You can't have just a spherical looking donut. Sorry, spherical. Round looking circular donut, because it just, your eye will see it as fake. So very quickly, I'm able to add a little bit of variation to the donut. Just all around it, just a little bit over here. And you can see that I am just changing my circle of influence depending on what size of a lump I want to make. So I just want to make like a little bit that sticks out. I can make a small circle just by scrolling up like that. And you just want to do that until you get something that looks a little more natural.
I don't know. This looks natural to me already, but let's practice a little bit with the tool and see what we can do, you know? Want to see what we can actually do with this. So tab, click around here a little bit like a little bit of a like this. Click here a little bit like this. Then let's look a bit under. A little bit over here. Let's see, what does this look like now? I mean, it's okay, it's still okay, I'm kind of seeing the whole looks fake thing now, right? So maybe like a little bit around here. And around here as well. Like that. And then drag it out a little bit over. No. drag it out a little bit like that. How does this look? No. Doesn't look pleasing to the eye. That's the problem. It's like, it just doesn't look pleasing to the eye. I'm trying to get to the point like where he did kind of, or looks nice-ish. It just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like my donut doesn't look as pleasant right now. Do it a little bit like this. This one a little bit like this, maybe. Just so it's not all like samey. Okay, no, no, I didn't. I want to click this part here. It's kind of a little bit like this. There we go. I mean, it doesn't look perfect, okay? It genuinely doesn't look perfect.
I might want to make the inner part as well. Let me just drag that.
Let's do a little bit with the inner part like he's been doing as well. And over here a little bit. There. I was just looking to you guys, chat. Does this look like a donut to you guys? Like, does it look super unnatural or nah? What do you guys think? I think it looks okay. Like, sure, it doesn't look like in the video, but looks like an okay donut, I would say. Maybe pull this a little bit more back end. Pull it a little bit back end. There, we got our little donut. It's not perfect, but you know what? It's our donut. We created it. We gave birth to this donut, chat, and I think that's what matters.
That in with a smaller circle. And that's pretty good. Let's just have a look from the top. I might actually just drag that out, make it a little bit more like that. But there you go. That's pretty good for a donut. It's still kind of simple. It's not too detailed. But it's got
2 hours later, yeah. Listen. I just want to make it into a good donut, okay?
It's more interesting to look at. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Go back into edit mode with tab. Donuts, when they're sitting in the little vat thing, right? They're only like half submerged, so then they have to be flipped. But it means that the bit that's nearest to the surface is getting less heat. So essentially what I'm saying is the bit that's around the donut, the circumference of it is usually a little bit flatter. So donuts aren't like perfectly round all the way around. They're usually a little bit flatter. So what I want to do is I want to select these vertices along here.
Okay.
And I want to shrink them. Now I could go around one by one like this, which is actually what I used to do when I was learning Blender pre-YouTube days.
That will take a long ass time though.
I would do this if I wanted to select this. Silly, because there's a function, a tool for that, and it is edge select. So if you hold down Alt on your keyboard and then do a single left click on not the points, but on the edge, right, this little line.
Okay.
Here,
oh my god. Wait. No way, bruh. Okay. Oh, it's not working? For me, it just seems to be like double click it. Yeah, double clicking it seems to work.
See, it's selected all the way around.
Okay. Wait, let me just check something. If I went into preferences and disabled the emulate free button mouse, would it work? Yes, it would. But again, it looks like the exact same thing as double clicking it. Yeah, so I think I could just leave it like this and it'll be double clicked and it'll be fine.
So it's any.
Okay. So we're gonna do it like double click there. We selected it.
Along that line is now selected. So if I want to shrink this, right?
Yeah.
What I do? Well, I mean, yeah, you could like move it around, right? We want to shrink it. We want to change the scale of it. So we would use the hotkey S for scale. So S, and
okay,
I'm going to scale that in. And I actually don't
God.
proportional editing. So I'm going to turn that off.
Oh, hey, look, Chad. Look, Chad, we got a UFO now. It's no longer a donut, it's a UFO. Woo. I'm having way too much fun with this. You said turn on proportional scaling, which was up here. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that is a lot.
And just make it a little bit flatter. And there you go. See, it just feels a little bit more natural, doesn't it? Looks a little bit closer to what a donut looks like. And by the way, don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like this, like your lump is a little bit off. Like some people get a little bit too precious with the tutorial. Like, I gotta match exactly everything I do.
Nah, there's
like,
no way I'm gonna match what he does. Like,
so just make
one by one, there's no way
good.
that's gonna happen.
If you think this is not misshapen enough and you want to add more, go for it, because it might actually turn out better than what mine is. Now, before
I think this looks good.
The next part, how to save. How to save. Blender, very, very easy. You just go save as, and you just get one file. It's called .blend. Very literal file extension. Really pushing the limits of what a file extension can be. That's almost a word, Blender. Anyway, .blend, and that's it. And then next time you open it up, it's exactly like
okay,
it.
.blend.
It's like ZBrush, where you got like 4 or 5 different ways to save a project or an object or a tool or
something.
ZBrush.
We're just gonna chill like this.
That's how you save. Now, also, finally, I would say, if you need help, because I know a lot of this stuff is very foreign, 3D is very unique, it's very different to a lot of... Did you guys know that...
Okay, we just finished part 2. So, chat, how's it looking? Be honest, like, I want you guys' honest opinion. Do you think it looks like a donut? I think it looks pretty good. Like, obviously, we haven't textured it or added the icing, but I think the shape looks pretty good. I added a few like lumps, you know, here and there. I think it looks actually good, especially from the top view. Like maybe the only thing that bothers me is like this little part down here. But I think it's, considering like it's my first time. Yeah. I don't think I did a bad job following the tutorial for creating this thing. Like it was surprisingly, it's definitely surprisingly simple to create it, but I'm sure it's gonna get more complicated now because now we're heading into part 3, which is modeling the icing. So now we gotta make some icing for it. So let's follow the tutorial.
Had a change that makes it more realistic by default, or that there's a new technology that is going to expand the uses for 3D exponentially. Well, you would if you were on my free newsletter called This Week in 3D. It's free and it's always icing, which looks complex.
Okay, listen. I like your tutorial, but no newsletters, no anything. I run away from that shit. No. No newsletters, no nothing. Like my email already gets flooded with so much shit. Like, I'm not subscribing to anything more. But so far, definitely would recommend this tutorial. It's been super easy to follow. Even with like someone like me who's got severe ADHD, I'm like, I can't focus on a single thing at all whatsoever. I've been still, it's been good. Like even for someone like me who can't focus on a single thing whatsoever, I pause like every 2-3 minutes and then end up chatting with you guys about some random shit on pause. Still keeping good track of it. So definitely a really cool tutorial. Definitely really cool. Solo. Why are you loading your brain solo? It's not that bad. Come on, man. It's not that bad. Is it that bad, chat? Am I the problem? Am I the problem? Wait, is that a stuck emote, Karama? What the fuck? Okay, well now you've given me an idea. If we end up funding the debut, I'm gonna get a Denka stuck animated emote. So yeah, you guys can thank Karama for that idea. We're gonna get a Denka stuck emote if the model gets funded. So, if you guys wanna see that happen, remember, spread the word about a donathon and just like hang out and watch as well. Anything support. Anything you do help support it. You don't have to financially support it for it to actually like help. You can just be in here, chat with me. You can spread the word. Everything helps. All right, let us continue.
But it's actually fairly simple. Now, as I mentioned before, if you want to add an object, you go Shift A, right? And then you start with something that resembles what you're trying to create. But we already have something that resembles the exact shape we want to create. It's the donut, because we want the icing around the donut.
I assume it's going to be a surface.
Use this information. So we can do that by duplicating the object.
Oh, wait.
And if you don't know the hotkey for it, you could just go Object, and then you'd find it here where it says Shift D. So Shift D. Now, when you hit that, you are in a placement state, essentially.
Oh, shit,
it's duplicated,
okay.
And it's now saying, where do you want to place it? Now, in our case, and actually often, you don't actually want to change its placement. You want to duplicate it exactly where it was. So you can cancel the movement by hitting Escape or right-clicking. Now, when you do that, it looks like it's canceled the duplication, but you can see in your outliner, it has duplicated it. You've got two objects, but it's just in the exact same place, which is what we want.
Okay.
So first things first, we need to name them, or else we could get very confused very easily. So you can name an object by just double-clicking it in the outliner and then just typing in the object. The other way you can name something, I'll just show you the second way. If you select the Taurus 0.001, that's your icing object. If you're in the 3D view, where your cursor, is over the 3D viewport, if you hit F2, that's another very quick way.
Nah, I prefer the manual way of doing the thing.
Up to the outliner to find your object. So
I prefer the manual way.
Icing object selected, let's go into edit mode by hitting Tab. So we want the icing on the top, which means this bottom half of our mesh here is redundant.
Okay.
Don't need it. So we want to delete it. So if we just dragged over the bottom here, you can see it looks like we've selected the bottom half of our donut, but if you were to move around, you would see, we haven't actually. It's only selected, annoyingly, what is facing the camera. Where there's a mesh, it's not gone through the mesh. A lot of users find this annoying. I agree. Sometimes it seems like that would be the more default one that would make more sense, but anyway, don't want to argue. So if you want to select through a mesh, you can go up to here in your top navigation, toggle X-ray. If you turn that on, it's going to enable you to see through the mesh. And now, when I drag over it, you can see that I have selected.
Okay, wait. Where is that?
All through the mesh. Now, it's going. You can go up to here in your.
Am I crazy, or is that option not here for me, chat? It might be crazy.
top navigation, toggle X-ray. If you turn that on, it's going to enable you to see.
Like, am I crazy? I'm actually not seeing it.
What is facing the camera? Where there's a mesh, it's not gone through the mesh. A lot of users find this annoying. I agree. Sometimes it seems like that would be the more default one that would make more sense. But anyway, don't want to argue. So if you want to select through a mesh, you can go up to here and you'll...
Oh, I'm stupid. It's right here. I'm fucking stupid. Never mind, chat. It's me.
Top navigation, toggle X-ray. If you turn that on, it's going to enable you to see through the mesh. And now, when I drag over it, you can see that I have selected everything through the mesh as I move around it. By the way, you might find it like when you're in this state, it's kind of hard to select. Like, it's easy to kind of accidentally select what is above it, and depending on what you've got at your end, that might have happened already. So another way to easily just look directly on the side-on of your donut is to just click one of these, like in your gizmo here, instead of just dragging around. Just do a single click on either the green one or the red one, the X or the Y. And now we're in that state. You can see it's flattened it, so it's put you in orthographic mode, which actually you can toggle to at any time, just over there, which just makes it easier to just do a single all the way through the mesh.
Oh boy, Denka's brain is gonna break. Why is it gonna break? Just because I'm dumb?
Okay. All right, so we want to delete that. So just hit the delete key. You get an extra option here.
Delete.
Here of what do you want to delete? Edges, faces. You want the vertices, that's everything. And now we have, if we go back to object mode, and then let's turn off toggle X-ray as well. And you can see it's working. We got half the donut on top of itself. But as you move around, you can see you got some
It's
flickering.
clipping, yeah.
Now, this flickering happens, and it's actually a very common... It's actually a good warning sign to you as an artist, because it means you've got faces on top of faces, and the 3D software doesn't know which face it wants to render, right? So it's like sometimes saying it's the front face, no, the back face, the front face, and there's no understanding. Sometimes you can actually spot it in TV shows and like VFX or like low-budget stuff. You can see something flickering in the background, and I'm like, ooh... There it is, Z fighting. That's what it's called, Z fighting, or Z fighting, if you're not American.
Z fighters, oh my god, from Dragon Ball?
Thickness to our icing. So we can do that with a solidifier modifier. So adding another modifier, make sure you've got your icing selected, not your donut. And then here where you've got add modifier, we're gonna go generate solidify. Okay. Now it's made it worse.
Oh God!
It's actually added a thickness to our.
It's horrible.
But it's actually done it the wrong way. So it's with the normals. Yeah, what is it? It's trying to put the extra bit inside the donut. So we can change that by just changing the offset here in the solidifier settings. Just drag that all the way to 1. Some of you might have actually found that it was correct before, just depending on which way your normals were. If that's the case, keep it at -1, but everyone else, keep it at 1. We just want to make sure it's actually outside. Okay. I also let's just increase the thickness a little bit too. Let's go, 0.025. That looks...
That looks a little bit too big, actually. It was fine before.
Pretty good.
Yeah, like, it's fine the way it is right now.
And great. We've got what looks like a yarmulke on our donut. A perfectly straight edge little hat for our donut. So let's make this look more like icing. So the edge is wavy all the way around. So to do this is where we get into the fancy finger magic. Because you're typing lots of keys. Anyway, go into edit mode, and we can see straight away that we can't see the mesh, and that's because the solidify modifier is obstructing our view. So these little boxes here, as I mentioned before, like this is to hide it from viewport. But if you want to just hide it from your edit mode, which is the state that we are in right now, the box next to it is the one that you uncheck, which means in object mode, when you're tabbed in object mode, you can still see it, but edit mode, it's it's temporarily hidden for you. So if I was to select one of these points here and move it down, you can see that it's working, but it would be, again, a lot of effort to go round and round and do the...
might be working for him. For me, not really. Venting for me, it's kind of worse. Oh, I'm an idiot. That's because we're in this... Yeah, never mind. I'm an idiot. Don't mind me, chat. I am dumb. It's because I was clicking on the wrong modifier. Okay, there we go. I was clicking on the wrong modifier the whole time. I'm fucking dumb. Also, behind me. Let me just put that up. Okay, there we go. There we go. Fucking dumb. Holy shit. Okay.
These one by one. So we want to use that old familiar proportional fall-off tool again.
I told you so. Okay, Solo.
So proportional.
So turn on proportional, which let me see if I remember where that is. That should be right here.
Editing on, and now as I move it down, let's just lower the slider way down here, and then let's pull this down. Okay, now,
oh god,
we'll find issues. If we move to the side here, we can see the first issue we've discovered is that this is separating from our mesh here. And that's not what icing does. When it dribbles down, it follows the shape of the donut all the way down. So what we want to do is snap, oops, undo it a number of times, snap.
Also, there we go. So you say, listen, okay, listen. I am new to this magical software of blending. So it's gonna take a while.
Vertices to our donut underneath it, right? So for that, we need to turn on snapping.
Okay, snapping. Snapping is on.
Up here. Okay, now there are a number of ways to snap in Blender. The default way is increment, which just means the like the grid floor there. Like if you were to just like move it around, you can see it's just snapping to the grid floor. Not helpful. But we want to snap it to the face. And now with face snapping enabled, if we move this down, we can see, let's just look here, that the bottom bit is snapping to the face, but as you might have seen, the top bits, the rest of essentially what is inside of our circle of influence with this proportional editing, that's not being affected. Only the little point that we had selected was affected. So that's not what we want either.
Okay.
Normally that would be enough, but in this particular case, we want to also snap individual elements too. And let's go face project.
Okay.
Now, when we pull this down,
wasn't Blender that robot from Futurama? No. That was Bender.
That these are also no longer clipping through.
And yes, I know, it's wild. Denka doesn't know music, but he knows Futurama. Oh my god. Fucking crazy, man.
But still, we have issues. Why is that? Well, it is actually working correctly. We can see these are not going through the mesh. So why does it look like it is? The reason for that is that there's actually just not enough information here. So if we go side on, you can see, right? Like we've got this point here, and then we've got another point down here, and then we've got this long stretch in between, right?
Wait, we're talking about music? No, we're not. Did I have a mini blackout? No, we're not. We're not talking about music. We're not gonna mention... Forget Denka's knowledge about music, okay? Forget about it. As far as you're concerned, there is no Denka music. There is no Denka music in Bossing Say.
Right, so that means that this part of the donut, oh gosh, that goes that goes around like that, is just not, there's nothing to snap it to, essentially. So what we need to do to fix this is just add more geometry. So these little vertices here, we need more of those vertices. So we can do that by actually using the subdivision surface modifier. Because although it is a modifier, you can apply the modifier.
Oh god, what the fuck?
And the modifier currently is adding geometry, so let's just apply it. So to apply it, we just click this little drop down here next to the modifier, and then go apply. Now,
I don't think this is supposed to look that way
from this view because the same information is being displayed. But in edit mode, you should now see.
Oh yeah, because it's supposed to be 0.025. Okay, there we go.
Exponentially. Now, if we, nothing should have changed from this view.
There we go. I just, I forgot a 0 over there, so it looked a little bit off. My bad.
The same information is being displayed. But in edit mode, you should now see exponential modifier, because although it is a modifier, you can apply the modifier. Those vertices.
Let me just see one more time.
So these little vertices here, we need more of those vertices. So we can do that by actually using the subdivision surface modifier, because although it is a modifier, you can apply the modifier. And the modifier currently is adding geometry, so let's just apply it. So to apply it, we just click this little drop down here next to the modifier, and then go apply. Now, if we, nothing should have changed from this view because the same information is being displayed. But in edit mode, you should now see exponentially more faces. Because here, where there was, one
there's
face
a lot
before,
more now.
You can see there's now a lot more. Right. 4x. Okay, 4x. Okay. So now if we pull down, we should see it is snapping. And if we go into this mode, you can see that it's now conforming to the mesh in a much more snug way, because there's information there for it to use. Now this shading artifact here that we can see, this
oh yeah, that looks a lot better.
But I need to show, because I've shown you like 4 things that we need to.
Okay, that looks so much better now.
Because if I pull down and if I scroll up, you'll see something. Okay, if I was to click, we get this horrible problem here. And I've done this tutorial on enough, and enough people have hit this issue that I need to call it out specifically, because it seems to be a big point that a lot of people just don't know where to go from. What's happened is if we use a what's it called, the circle of influence for our proportional editing, if that is so high, it's actually high enough to reach the mesh on the other side of the donut. And then because we've got snapping, it's now projecting that, snapping it to the front, which is creating this like something that's a nightmare to fix. In fact,
luckily I didn't do too much.
To start from scratch than to try.
We're looking like we got actual icing
so,
here too.
If we want. Sorry, there's a lot of noise. To fix this, we need to hide the part of the mesh that we don't want to be influenced by our proportional tool, right? So to do that, there is an easy way to do it. We can actually do it very precisely. So if with this middle bit of our donut here, if I just hold down Alt and then do a left click, as I mentioned before, that selects the ring, okay? And we could do that all the way up, but actually there's a little, I don't know if it's an Easter egg. It's kind of a cool tool that not many people know about. Control plus. That will enable the select more tool. And if you use Control plus, Control minus goes the other way, you can see that it's expanding out. So Control plus will just like select the next vertex along a chain, roughly speaking. And you can see we can very quickly select all the parts of the mesh that we don't need, right? Very cool. By the way, if Control plus doesn't work for you because you're on a laptop or something else, select more, less. You can also do it here.
Okay.
Anyways, to hide this part of the mesh, it's H. H for hide. So when you're in this state, it looks as though it's been deleted. It's very, sometimes you don't know where part of your mesh, and then you forgot that you've got hide turned on. If parts of your mesh are hidden and you want to bring it back, it's Alt H. So H to hide and then Alt H to bring it back.
Okay, I think mine's, I don't need to hide mine though because it looks fine.
You can also find it. Okay, it's underneath mesh. There we go.
It's like it looks fine.
Mesh. Reveal hidden or hide selected. Okay, so that's the other way. But you can get my keyboard shortcut that's in the link. It's free. Just use that and then you won't forget a lot of these handy shortcuts. All right, so now finally, after all that, after 4 different ways and problems to explain, we can now take part of this mesh and drag it down and it will work correctly. Haha. So now we get to now finally be an artist and go like, what sort of,
We get to be an artiste, chat. We do it like a little bit. Oh, nope. Damn it. Why do I keep pressing G by accident? there. I think that part looks fine. Is he gonna go all the way around?
Edge or you know, what sort of icing do I want to make this look like? So what I'm doing here, by the way, is I'm hitting G to pull it down, and then I'm just middle click, single middle click, and then because my cursor is closest to the Z-axis, it's now snapping it to the Z-axis. So that's why I mentioned before that it's really handy. You don't have to think of the letter and type it in. You just go in the general direction you want to go, and then just tap the middle click of the which is your scroll wheel, right? Middle click. It's such a weird.
Okay, it looks like he's gonna do like a full circle, so we're gonna do the same. Move this a little bit up so we can move this a little bit down. Yeah, this is looking, I'd say this is looking really fine so far. We'll move you a little bit up. And this one as well a little bit down. There we go. So we got a little icing. Maybe I can do a little bit more maybe I can do a little bit more around here. Move you up so it goes up. And move you a little bit down. There we go. We got icing, chat. There we go. I think that looks good. That looks nice. A little bit of icing on top.
You have to call it out. It's the scroll wheel button, because it's like no other.
Yeah, I like the way
this
looks.
It besides scrolling, but Blender is like, no, we're going to use it for like 90% of the operations is going to be middle click. But anyways, as you can see, I'm not paying particularly too much attention.
Yeah, this looks good.
I'm just making a wavy looking shape around it. You might also want to make some bits that go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And then maybe pull. So you've got like
some to the side a little bit, yeah,
as well as medium shapes and some small shapes. Big, medium, small. It's the recipe.
By the way, Chad, what kind of donuts are your favorites?
Small details. But
something I want to ask.
By the way, I should mention, if you're stuck, don't feel bad, because there was certainly a lot of finickiness going on with this donut here, and we're definitely in the steep part of that curve at the moment.
Really? This is steep? This wasn't really that difficult.
I created it literally so that people could get instantaneous help. I don't have any other benefit for it, so
donut help in the Discord. Oh my god!
Link is in the description, and there's like.
So far, this has been really simple. I'm gonna be honest.
Where you can post screenshots of your problem, and then people can help each other out. So, do make use of that. Now, our shading issue here, this darkened edge, is actually going to fix itself by fixing another issue. So it's a two birds, one solution kind of problem. This 90-degree edge here for this icing, not ideal. Everybody knows that a real icing would create like a rounded edge there, right?
Okay.
So we can fix that just by adding another subsurf modifier. Because you might remember I mentioned, like, yes, if you've got 3 vertices, it'll create like another vertice here and another vertice here, but it'll also like round it out. It'll pull this one back, so you end up with a rounded corner. So right here in your modifier stack, we're going to go add modifier, generate subdivision surface. Now, the order of these does matter. Okay, you want your solidify at the top and the subdivision after it. So Blender works top to bottom, and it's important it's in this way because you want the extrusion to happen first, and then in order to round that edge,
this actually looks nice now. Yeah.
Step. So solidify on top, subdivision underneath. Now, whilst we're here and we're looking at the close-up, nice little profile of this edge of this icing. Another issue to call out, you can see it's got this this shape that goes around. Yes, so far so good. But then it goes up, and it's like, it'll be better if it went around and then tucked in and touched the edge of it, because that would look more like real liquid would. So we can solve that by just changing one of the settings in the solidify modifier. It's not one of those things that you would figure out or know where it is. It's just over time you learn where some of these settings are. But essentially here, the edge data. So we want to change the edge data to say that before you do the solidify step, add a crease on the inner part right here. If we increase this all the way to 1, it now creates a sharpened edge just on that inner part there. So the rest of it is a smoothed edge, but the middle one, there's a crease, so it's making a sharp edge there. And it just gives it just a little bit more realism. Just looks a little bit closer to what you would imagine real icing would do. Okay, now for the cool bit. All right, so if you look at reference of donuts, right? Yes, you've got these little wavy bits.
I'm gonna slightly edit it a little bit more though, just because I wanna make this a little bit, yeah, like that. Want to make this a little. Jesus Christ! Bless you, I guess. I want it to be a little bit like, this, maybe. Yeah, I want it to look a little bit like this. Donut. Yeah, look, it's an actual donut with icing. Yes, I remember Katakuri from One Piece. Your favorite One Piece villain. I'm sure they are. It's like, oh, they're all my favorite children. But Katakuri, you're my favorite.
I mean, the dude is honorable.
It's not exactly a big standard.
Boy, in a world of pirates where honor died, he is.
Dude.
The dude is open his stomach.
Yep. Whatever you say about it. We want to make this part go a little bit up. Cooler Denka is a little bit less cool now. Damn. My chat's being disillusioned by you now. They called you the cooler Denka up until this point.
But I am the cooler. I am the cooler to your face.
No. I'm Pump Daddy. See.
Ah, cooler.
No. You are not. I am Pump Daddy. See. Fuck you.
I am the cooler to your freezer.
No, No. You are the freezer to my cooler.
No. Accept it for this.
Fuck you. I'm a cooler main. Fuck you, bitch.
Please.
In the words of Cooler from Dragon Ball Budokai Free, I hate you.
The feeling is mutual.
Plus, I'm not the one that goes ballistic in a fucking ranked game of Dragon Ball Sparking.
Only when there is pin or red connection. Or both.
So that's basically every online game.
Hey, hit the game, not the player.
Bruh. That's all I can say. But okay, I'm really happy with how this is turning out so far. I thought it would be a lot more difficult to learn.
But where the icing is really liquidy, it'll often break off from this wave here, and it'll create a trail that goes down underneath the donut, right? It just sort of drips all the way down. Whoops, bumped the microphone. So we can do that, but not the way we were doing it before. If we just took one of these points and then like dragged it all the way down like that, there wouldn't be enough information there, right?
Yeah.
You can see you just get this like stretched look, and it doesn't look great, okay? So essentially, we need to give it more information.
Okay.
And we can't just do it by like adding more and more subdivision. So we need to actually like break this shape here and create a new shape that goes down. So we need to extrude. So if I select this vertice and then the one next to it by holding down Shift, I don't think I mentioned it, but yeah, if you want to select two things at once, it's Shift.
Okay,
select.
Shift.
Anyways, so if we select two vertices like that, we want to extrude it downward by hitting E. So when you tap E, it's similar to G in that you're in a placement.
Hold on. Let's do that. Let's do that over here. Then E. Oh, okay.
State now, saying where do you want to place this? So I'm going to move it down to, like about there where I want the trail to stop. And I'm just going to do click, left click, and it's now placed it there. Now, it's hard to see it, but if I just switch to wireframe, you can see what it's doing. So it's created this breakaway shape here, an entirely new face.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
completely separate to what we've got there currently. And what this means is if we go to object mode, you can see it's not just like continuing this form here. It's
a new form,
right?
yeah.
Which is exactly what we want. And in fact, I want it to go even further than that. So I'm going to select those two vertices, and I'm going to pull it down again. And then I'll do it again. And the reason I've done this 1, 2, 3 is that this detail here is important so that it conforms to the shape of the donut. Because if there's not enough, you're going to have that clipping issue that I showed you earlier. So that's pretty good. And now...
Okay, wait. How far down does he go on it?
This detail here is important.
Okay. Kind of looks like a dick, I'm not gonna lie.
Important so that it conforms to the shape of the donut. Because if there's not enough, you're going to have that clipping issue that I showed you earlier. So that's pretty good. And now we're going to do it again. Originally in my earlier versions of the donut, I only did like one of these, but then I noticed that in the render, the final render, it's often the most interesting part of the donut. So now I'm thinking, yeah, just do it all the way around the donut. Just add the...
Maybe not all the way around the donut, but I'd be like maybe... So hear me out, maybe like... around... here? Yeah, maybe like one around there. A little bit around here. Just like adding a little bit more depth to the donut overall, right? Okay. Sorry, brother came in. So, yeah, I'm gonna just add a little bit around as I can. Around here, maybe a little bit deeper. A little bit like that here. Yeah. Okay. So this is already looking pretty nice. Pretty nice. We're gonna add a little bit more around.
The bit that looks cool. Add more of that.
Okay, but we'll do a little bit around as well. So I'll select you. So 1, 2, 3. And here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then in between this a little bit, 1, 2. There we go. I like the way this is turning out. Oh god, no. And you, I want you to go a little bit down. Okay. I like the way this overall looks. We'll add a little bit over here as well, just so there's a little bit of variety. There we go. I'm liking the way this looks overall. Maybe you guys don't, but I like it. It's a beginning. I messed up though with one of these here. Delete those as well. There we go. That was my bad. I accidentally duplicated in there without actually removing it.
So here, so wherever there's essentially like a big dip is what I'm looking for. Like where the liquid would sort of build up and then like the surface tension there would be just too much and then it would break away. And it would go down underneath like that. And we'll do another one here, why not? Like that, and down, and down.
Okay, so now we go on to part 4, which
You
is
didn't give up.
sculpting.
You made it to part 4. You clicked on the next part of the video. There's always like less viewers each video as you go down. So you're here. Well done. Thumbs up. As you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to learn about sculpting. But first, I should call out. If you have a problem with your mesh now, those problems can be amplified the further you go along. So it helps to do a technical check now. Make sure you don't have any problems before we move along. So to look for it, go into edit mode. And first of all, by the way, if you can't see that middle part of your mesh, it's because you remember we temporarily hid it. So you can bring it back by hitting Alt-H, and that will bring back the rest of the mesh. And then we're looking for issues with the mesh, like right here. So this is a really common problem following this tutorial, because when you're projecting parts of the mesh, if it was like side on to the camera, it will project it that way, and then you can have like overlapping parts of the mesh. So that creates this artifact here.
Down here, is this going to be a problem?
Detail to it. So we just want to drag that back. So turn on snapping, and I'll keep proportional turned off, and then I'm just going to move this back over here just to move each of these points back. Another very common problem is you might have parts that have separated from your mesh. Now you can quickly fix this if you just like selected the point and then hit G to move it. When you're in that state, it's also snapping it to the mesh. Now you could do that all the way along, like select, tap G, then click, select, tap G, then click. But that's, anybody's got time for that. Let's make Blender do the work for us. So there's a tool that's just designed for this, and it's called the Shrink Wrap Modifier. So over to our trusty modifier stack, we're going to add yet another modifier. So add modifier. It's not under generate, it's under deform, which we haven't accessed before. New modifiers. Ooh, the one we're looking for is shrink wrap. And first of all, it hasn't done anything because it needs to know what the target is. What is the mesh that we're shrink wrapping our mesh to? So with this little eyedropper tool, you can see when you've clicked it, my cursor's changed to an eyedropper. And now if I hover over objects, I got the name of it. So I want to click on the object that is the donut, and now it's snapped to the donut and made it worse. Why, Andrew?
Oh God!
Did you make us do that? Remember, the
that is
order
ugly.
of your modifier stack matters. So the reason this happened is because we've done it after the solidify mod. So if it works top to bottom, we want the shrink wrap to happen before any of the extrusion happens. So now that it's there, it's correct. And this is what it looks like before, and this is after.
Oh,
and it's subtle, right? And you'll probably see this across your mesh, like little subtle changes where maybe it just separated off the mesh, which wasn't quite a perfect alignment, but this will just correct that. So great, we don't need this here now. We can just apply it because it was just a once-off operation.
What is this at the bottom,
and now
though?
all our mesh should be perfectly flat. And assuming you haven't got any other issues going on, again, make sure you use my Discord if you do have issues and you need someone to
I think it's
help.
the way they attach
Make use of the
themselves.
community. So use that and post your problem, and I'm sure people can help out.
Yeah.
All right, so
It's the way certain ones
we want to
attach
just-
themselves. Hold on. There we go. Like, I don't think there's any issues from me deleting those. And it makes the mesh look overall a lot better. Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any issues in me deleting them, and it'll probably save me a headache down the line. we're just gonna do that real quick and now go back.
Some sculpting. Now, why do we want to sculpt? Well, because if you look at reference photos of donuts with icing on them, you'll see that icing is obviously a liquid, and liquid does weird things.
Liquid do be liquid.
What it does is that it will pool in certain areas. It's not like a uniform amount all the way on it. So the most obvious being like at the end of this trail here, there would be more that would accumulate at the end there. And I think the reason for it is that because it's a viscous fluid, once it runs out of enough fluid, there's not enough to kind of push it forward, but there's enough for it to build up. So you would have like a build-up here on each of these ends, but you would also have build-ups all along the edge. And you can see it in reference photos. Like here, we've got this like clear, was it like a glaze? And basically the areas there where it looks whiter, that's a thickened area. So we essentially want to replicate that across our donut. So we can't do that currently. Like if you go into edit mode, we don't have any mesh to work with because the extrusion, the thickened part, is happening via this modifier. So we need to make the modifier real. So again, we're just going to apply it. Drop down, apply.
Okay, drop down. Okay. Isn't it just kind of merged now, though?
Now in edit mode, we have that part of the mesh to work with. So,
am I crazy?
Could, if you wanted to, come in here and like select the points that you want to add, you know, a bulge to, and then very carefully come in.
I feel like I might have fucked up somewhere along the way there. Okay, there we go. There we go. I was like, did I fuck up somewhere? Why does it happen with the shrink wrap still on, though? That's my question. Was I supposed to maybe apply the shrink wrap first? And then the slit. Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. I was dumb. That was just me being a little bit dumb. Okay, I get it.
And then tap G and then oh.
Yeah, let me just go back a little bit. So now I can go and okay, yeah, so it actually exists and I can edit these.
We could, if you wanted to, come in here and like select the points that you want to add, you know, a bulge to, and then very carefully come in and tap G and then, oh, I've got snapping turned on, turn that off. Pull this out, right? And go like that and go, yep, there's a little bulge there, but that's very tedious to first select a point, then tap a key to move it.
Tedious is my middle name,
it's very
Chad.
Tedious. So that's really like you just need to use another tool to do the job. So edit mode is one tool, and it's good for like very precise things when you need to get precise things. But for more like organic shapes, more freehand stuff, that's where sculpting comes in. So at the top here, we've just been flipping between object and edit mode, but the one underneath it is sculpt mode. So when we go into that mode, you'll see that we have on the left-hand side all of these tools.
Oh, geez, that is a lot.
And I mean, this isn't a sculpting like tutorial, really. We're just really going to scratch the surface, but they do different things, different sculpting things. Like let's just use the default tool here. Can't really see much happening. Let's just turn up the strength and the size of it.
Oh,
like it just
okay.
Pulls out that part of it. And even that quick little one stroke,
draw,
if you had to select
play.
each of those points
okay.
and pull them out one by one. Like that's why this
Cloth.
tool is the appropriate tool for
That's
this
gonna be
kind
cool
of
for
job,
making
right?
clothes.
It's very quickly going to enable us to add lots of complex shape. Very cool. So the tool that we're looking for is actually, it's this one, the inflate brush, which is just conveniently the I hot.
Doesn't have anything at that. Wait. Okay. I'll find it. Inflate. There it is.
Key, inflate. By the way, if you want to change the size of brushes in Blender, I mean, you've got these ones here. You've also got the strength slider here, but there is a hotkey just to change the size of the brush with F. So F to change the size of the brush.
Okay.
And you just pull out with your cursor to make it bigger, and then pull in to reduce it, and then do a single left click to confirm.
Cool.
You can also change the strength with Shift F. So Shift F, pull out, click, and then Shift F, pull in, click.
Good to know. Good to know.
So if I was to draw on this, you can see that I'm inflating that edge. I could also inflate here, but you very quickly realize, like, look at that. Look at that. What is that? Right?
That looks very smooth.
Is a pro tip. Your eye is like, if you're going low res, don't go low res for things that are round, because your eye is very quickly going to spot low poly things. Actually, just last night I was playing Spider-Man, the Miles Morales one, and there was like this coffee cup that was on a table, and then you walk, and it looks fine, like as a background asset, but then part of it, the mission, you had to go up and read something on the table, and you had to get close to this coffee cup, and it was like 8 vertices. It just looked like almost looked like a nut on a wheel of a car, right? Just like that jagged.
Bro, why are we roasting Spider-Man?
What I'm saying is, this is a rounded form, so we need more information. We need more detail to sculpt on. The reason this is jagged, and the reason there's not enough detail here, is that just even though we have a subsurf modifier, a subdivision modifier, it's applying it after we do the sculpt mode. So when you're in sculpt mode, it's still just using your raw mesh here, and then it does this as a secondary step. So if we want to sculpt into this detail, we need to apply this. So I'm going to use more than one. I'm going to use 2 because I want to have even more detail. So importantly, by the way, if you're applying a subdivision modifier, even though you've got 2 levels here, it will always use just the viewport. So your render amount here could be whatever, but when you hit apply, it's just going to apply whatever is in the viewport. So I'm going to go 2 levels and hit apply. Now look at this. Whoo.
Oh my God.
We have 16 times the detail because we have
level
1, which would be 4x, a 4x multiply, and then 4x of 4x, 16. So we have 16 times.
Okay, and then if we inflate that, it actually looks better.
Now when we go into sculpt mode, look at it now. When we sculpt, look at that. So much more room to work with, and much more fun. So now that I'm in that state, I'm going to just do little circles with this brush on each of these points here. And the reason I'm doing like little circles like this is that by default, the stroke state is, space. You can switch it to airbrush if you want, and then you can just click and hold it there. But I find that to actually be like hard to control. So I just keep it in space mode, and then just do like little circles, and then that enables you to just kind of continue adding more pressure as you move your mouse. So a little circle like that. And there you go. Very quickly, already we have a more interesting looking shape across it. So another brush, another tool, I guess you call it. Is it a brush or is it?
So baby, how you doing? Yo, Trashy! Welcome on in, dude. How you doing? It's nice to see ya. How we doing? We're doing. We're slowly making our way through. We're slowly making our way through the tutorial. We're making a donut, as you can see. We are making a donut. We're making a Blender donut. So we made the donut itself. Now we're doing like a little bit of icing. Chad's being quiet so they can concentrate. Yeah. I just assumed Chad was working on this with me, you know? But yeah, we're doing a little bit of blending together. How are you, Trash? How are you? It's also been pretty much a week since the Donothon started. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? It's crazy that it's already been a week. Welcome back from what I assume you were at work, right? Welcome back, welcome back. We're just doing some tutorial. We're currently on, what part are we on? We're currently on part 4 out of 14. My God. This is definitely going to be a multi-stream thing, so we're definitely going to do this over the course of multiple streams. But this is definitely helping me understand how to use Blender a lot. So I'm definitely gonna I'm definitely going to be practicing these things off stream as well, and I'm kind of excited to do so. I'm not going to lie. This is really cool. Big fan. Big fan. What's new with you? How are you feeling today? Where's the video? Let's continue the video.
Technically, I call brushes. But anyways, another one that you use all the time is grab. And conveniently, it's the hotkey G.
Okay, grab.
And what this does is just like pushing clay with your finger. It's like...
Oh, okay.
It's really cool. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm actually just exaggerating the design.
Feel like drinking, but it's not Friday. Okay, but when do you not feel like drinking? Let's be honest. Virginia, let's be honest. When do you not feel like drinking, Trashy? Like, I feel like you always just want to drink. Well, unconscious. Nah, he dreams of drinking when he's unconscious. When I'm with you, baby. Aww. We were actually talking about stuff if the model ends up getting funded. We were talking about it earlier because Kurama posted an emote of like stuck in a washing machine, animated emote, and I'm like, if the redesign happens, I'm gonna do an emote of Denka stuck in a washing machine, animated emote, because I think it'd be funny. Okay. We've kind of we've done what we need to do with the grab tool over there.
Because that is what makes appealing design.
Oh my god, this bean. But it's a little bit too soon to discuss that. I guess we're still a ways off.
In a shape, even though in the real world you might not see this like tapered thing like that, because it's got this bulbous end. You want to draw more attention to that kind of globule at the end there.
The globule.
Yeah, if you just make this a little bit tapered using this tool, it can do that. And we get to learn about a new tool in Blender, which is the whole point of this tutorial. So, yeah. All right, pull this around. Just click and drag. You can change the shape, size of the brush with F. And you've got more time than me. So
today the work was so boring that I kept on hitting on streamers. Damn, and you weren't here to hit on me. I see how it is.
A shape like that, and it should look a little nicer. Okay, so now let's do that raised edge all the way around the rim of this. Now, in previous versions of this tutorial, I said just use the inflate brush and then just like draw across it. The problem with this is that this is so imprecise, and you can accidentally like draw over another bit, and then you look at it side on and you get these like noticeable like divots across the donut. And it's not very, it's very hard to do because you keep like accidentally clicking off it and then on it, and you get this like jagged like dig. It's not very appealing. The point is, so let's go back. We can learn about another tool. It's another excuse to learn about another tool, and that tool is called the mask tool. So it's actually in the list here, but I never remember what it is. It's just hit M.
Okay, it's underneath cloth somewhere. Simplify, slide, relax, mask. There it is, mask. It's not actually M. It's Shift Spacebar. Aha. The day you become gay, I'll be there. Sorry, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But listen. It's not. Listen, I don't have to be gay to kiss you guys, okay? Kissing the homies isn't gay, you know? Kissing your homies goodnight isn't gay.
For mask, and it's this one.
Okay, so
what this enables you to do is, if you just draw on it, you get this grade shape, right? And then when you're using another tool, like say you switch to the inflate brush now, and if you draw over this, let me just increase this, Yeah, if you drew over this, you can see it's applying an inflation to everything except the area that is dark. And that's
it's not gay if the socks stay on. Denka isn't gay, he's super gay. It's not gay if the socks stay on. I'm always wearing 5 highs. Exactly. It's not gay if it's not gay if the socks stay on. Exactly. It's not gay if it's a paw job.
You can create like, you know, a skin lesion on a zombie or something like that. So a mask is very useful in sculpting, used a lot, and we're going to use it in just this case. What we're going to do is mask out just this area along the rim there, and then we're going to apply a constant inflate value to just the area that we've masked. So first use the mask tool, mask, and it doesn't really make sense to use like a half opaque mask. So we're going to set the strength all the way to 1, and then I'll use a brush size about here. So essentially, where do I want the inflation? Like, do I want this much inflation on the rim? No, probably something about here. And then I'm just going to paint a darkened value all the way across it. I just want to make sure that it's, you know, fairly even. It doesn't have to be completely perfect, but fairly even across it. And I obviously don't want it to be in this part because that, you know, the liquid has flowed all the way down and it's broken the trail and it's gone down there. So I don't want any raised area there. And again, I apologize if this was like tedious, but it's a way to learn Blender piece by piece. Okay, hey, speaking of which,
do a little bit like this. A bit over here. Over here like that. But yeah, I've just been doing the Blender tutorial today. It's been super fun. I'm not sure if anyone from chat has been following along with me. For the record, Denka, we would accept you if you came out. I know you guys would, but I have no reason to come out because I actually am not gay. I'm like a unicorn in femboy land, okay? I am a femboy, but that's straight. I'm really sorry to disappoint like anyone who was expecting something else. Take your time, bro. It's not some kind of transformation that's gonna happen. As long as you need. I'm sorry for anyone that was like expecting anything of that sort, but no, I'm not gay. I'm sorry. It's never gonna happen.
Which, I forgot. With the sculpt tools in Blender, for whatever reason, it has assumed by default that you might want to sculpt on the other side of your mesh. So you can see I've got this smear here, and that's because somewhere I was painting over here, I went through the mesh and it painted on the other side of the mesh over there. Very annoying. So I can undo it. It's just easier than like repainting that whole thing. And what you want to do with your mask tool is underneath brush, set it to front faces only. And that means when you paint, it should mean that as you draw, it could still happen, only. Just be careful. But it should happen less. It shouldn't happen like on the opposite side of the same mesh. Anyways, it should happen less. By the way, I didn't call it out because it's not essential, but if you do ever want to isolate and only see the selected object, / is the isolation mode.
Okay.
So / on the number pad or the...
Oh my goodness, Denka 3D genius. I am not a 3D genius, but hi, Nomi. How are you? We're just doing one of our Donothon goals, which is the Blender Donut tutorial. We're $90 away from our next goal, which is ASMR fanfiction reading, where you guys can recommend any fanfictions for me to read in ASMR. Wink, wink, wonk, wonk. But how are you doing, Nomi? I hope you're doing okay. Let me actually give you a shout out real quick. How's Left 4 Dead treating you? I hope you had fun with Left 4 Dead 2. We're currently like on part 4 out of 14 of the donut tutorial. It's been super easy to follow and super fun, so I would highly recommend it if you're interested in getting like into Blender.
Normal keyboard will pull you in and out of that state. Anyway, so now with the mask brush, with front faces only enabled, I can paint along it, and it should happen less, essentially. All right. I don't know what to say.
Don't mind me just lurking, but I saw 3D in progress. Yeah, we have a donut, see? We have a donut, and we have some icing. Maybe Denka will play that one day. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day, Kurama. Play it for the first time today and got motion sickness? Really? Aw, that's sorry. I'm sorry to hear. I didn't think that game could actually give motion sickness, but I guess everyone reacts differently. Okay. By the way, Nomi, do you like my donut? Does it actually look like a donut to you? This is like the icing on it. Does it look like a donut? I don't know. I tried my best to sculpt a donut from what I've seen in my mind. Like, this is the ideal donut shape for Denka. Honestly, I'm actually craving donuts now. I'm not gonna lie. Turn a donut into a prop for VR chat. I could. I actually could. Yeah, you're right. I could add it as a toggle, maybe, where I just pull out the donut on the model as well. It'd be fun.
Once you've set it up, and assuming you've got the strength of 1, by the way, you don't want to have areas with like half opaque, right? Because we want to have a constant value across it as we...
It's not half opaque as far as I can see. Oh, no, sorry. Not that. Just gonna make sure that it's actually like properly covered. Yeah, this one might be a little bit low. Let's add additional. There we go, there we go. There we go.
We inflate it, and we should get a nice raised edge that goes all the way along the donut.
Okay.
Great. Just clean it up if you got any areas that look a little untidy, a little unkempt. Yep. Awesome. All right. So, as I mentioned, the mask will actually mask out the area, so you can't paint on it. We obviously want to only paint on the area that we mask, so we want to invert it by just hitting Control-I, same hotkey as Photoshop, etc.
Oh, shit.
And then, obviously, if we went to the inflate brush and then we just painted, like, yes, we're only now painting onto that area, but it also doesn't solve our problem of like different values across it. So we want to apply a uniform inflation on just these areas. So there is a tool in the sculpt tools called, where is it? Mesh filter.
Okay.
So I will be honest.
Mesh filter. Box mask, mesh filter. There it is. It's looking fantastic. Really, Solo? The donut. I don't know. It's looking donutty, I guess. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this as much as I did, but it's been super, super fun.
It's probably the laziest implementation of a tool in Blender. Like, mesh filters, they're not really well documented. You kind of have to just learn how they work. But unlike all these other brushes here, the way this one works is it's applying a uniform value to the entire mesh. So it doesn't actually matter where you click on the mesh, it's going to apply it. And it's applying what is in the filter types listed here. So if I just click, this is the other thing you have to learn. If I drag to the right, I'm inflating. If I drag to the left, I'm deflating. And so subtracting the opposite direction. You just kind of have to learn that that's how this specific tool works. My theory is, by the way, to go on a rant, ZBrush's user experience and interface is so arcane, so badly hodgepodge together from ideas over the last 2 decades. They never had any thought in the process. They just lumped it all in there. And Blender's sculpting tools competes with that. So they're like, hey, yeah, the filter tools, yeah, they're not the easiest to understand, but at least we're not ZBrush.
Okay.
That's my theory. It's my working theory I'm going with. But anyways, point is now that we're in this, you can see we're applying a uniform value to everything. Hooray for us. I might also, I'm going to set the strength of this to 0.1, and that just means that as I move the cursor, it's applying less of a value
0.1, okay.
for the movement, so I can use smaller movements. The other thing though is this is a little like, it almost looks, if we go into object mode, it looks like a tube almost around the edge of it. It's not very nice. It basically, the edge that we've got here is too hard, so we can smooth out that edge by using mask, smooth mask. Okay. Now, if we use the inflate, just tilt to the right a little bit, I'm just going to go with that. Let's go object mode and see how that looks.
Let me just see what he did.
Right a little bit. I'm just going to go with mask. Okay. Now, if we use the inflate, just tilt to the right a little bit.
Okay, just a little bit of inflation. Any inflation fans in chat? Okay, just a little bit.
I'm just going to go with that. Let's go object mode and see how that looks. That's pretty good. I might actually go just a little bit more. Just exaggerate it slightly more. There we go. Great. So, yeah, that's roughly it. Now, there's a little bit of artifacting there because the way the mask works is it's kind of that feathering thing. It's not very exact.
That looks
it's
nice.
Kind of got some values in between it. So we can smooth that out in sculpt mode by, first of all, just clearing the mask and then using the...
Wait, how did he clear the mask?
Out in sculpt mode by, first of all, just clearing the mask.
Okay, mask, clear mask.
And then using the smooth tool.
Okay.
By default, it's too high, so just turn it down. And I'm just going to smooth that edge, and that'll just sort of clear up some of this artifacting. It's a little too high. For whatever reason, the smooth tool, which also you can access at any point when you're in sculpt mode,
edges.
just by holding down shift, and it'll temporarily invoke the smooth tool, and it'll use the value that is on the smooth tool. So you'll be in this mode and then you hold down shift and it'll actually not use this value, but the value that's on the smooth tool. Again, ZBrush is the competitor, so some things are a little weird here. Anyways, so it's a little too high. Just turn it down and now we've got a nice value. And I'm just smoothing this out.
Okay.
Just to clear up some of the artifacting all the way around the mesh. Boop, boop, boop. And that's it. Lovely. Hey, if you've made it this far, 3D is in the cards. It's for you because we've done some fairly complex things. So if you're a beginner and you're just getting started in Blender, congrats, because it is a steep learning curve, but you have learned some very complex modeling and some sculpting. So congrats, you've made it this far.
Okay. So we sculpted it so far. It looks nice. I want to go into object mode real quick though, because I noticed some things. Specifically, you and you. There are a few that don't belong, so let's just get rid of them. Yeah, let's just grab... Oh, Jesus. Hi, chemist. My God. Just delete these. Because those are not supposed to be there. Hi, chemist. How you doing, buddy? Welcome on in. Okay, those are not supposed to be in there, so we're gonna up And then there's these two as well. There we go. Now it looks to be good. It's looking good. It's looking fine. No little extras that we don't want being in here. Our donut is looking good. Looking very good, actually. Holy shit. Yes, what does yes mean, Cam? Yes, as in you're doing good. Yes, as in you're doing bad. Which yes are we talking about right now, you know? Yes. Oh my god. Yes, as in yes, my god. Yes, as in yes. Oh, well, speaking of yes, are you down to do some more Roblox on the weekend? Blink once for yes, twice for yes. You know, just every road leads to yes. Si, senor. Yes, I heard you. You said sim racing, I heard you. Si. Because we never actually finished Doors. You know, and it would be cool if we actually finished Doors. File, save. Untitled blend. There are some like parts that look a little bit scuffed on the icing, but I'm pretty proud of this donut. I'm not gonna lie. So we only got 10 more parts to go. You know, only 10 parts. Yeah, that's not much, right? But like realistically, let's be honest, like a lot of this I would say isn't really gonna. Realistically, I only got like 4 or 5 parts left. And all of this the rest of this is just for rendering, I would assume. And by finished Doors, you mean watch me as I play alone. No. Listen. I would actually make my way, you know, through it with you, and Dylan would probably be the one who's dead, okay? Okay? We would make our way through the doors together, Chemist. Together, we will devour the gods. Together. Together. What's the next in the tutorial? It's gonna be shading. By finished door, he means getting carried by a random chatter. Nah, we wouldn't. Okay, real talk. Now that it's like, it's been a while. I was so annoyed at that like person. Donut Zeffy. Hi Zeffy, how you doing, dude? Yeah, we're making a donut. It's one of our donathon goals that we were gonna do the Blender donut tutorial. So we're doing it. Blender time, yeah, yep. It's one of the donathon goals. We're funding the donathon, exactly. Yeah, we're funding our redesign and first ever debut and 2D model with this donathon. The redesign honestly like looks so freaking good if we hit the goal for it, which you know I'm hopeful for. But how have you been, Zeffy? Hopefully Vork's been treating you well. I'm good. I'm glad to hear. But yeah, I figured I really want to start learning Blender, and you know, let's start off with the donut. Think of why is there no Mongi in your new model? Wait, what? Wait, what? No what? Also, Zeffy, what's one tip you would give to a Blender newbie like Denka? Bro, the one tip Zeffy would give me is don't get into Blender. You know Among Us? Oh, actually, it's funny you say that. There actually was an Among Us in one of the drafts, but I had it removed. Fun little fact about that. Boo. You know what, Chemist? Fucking drop enough money during this donathon, and I'll bring back the Among Us into the design. I'll tell now. Bring back the Amogus. God, I would never live that shit down. Say less, my God. You can have 5 cents. Oh my God, so dope. There's always a way for things to do easily and not the long way around. Nonsense. We always take the long way around, Zephy. Always. Never take the short way around. Never. Never, ever. Ever, never. Ever. Oh, shit. Yo, Zephy, thank you for 2 gifted subs. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let me put you into the list. Zephy, 2 subs. And you also get fishing. Poggers. Do we get the Amogus back? You guys are gonna have to drop a lot more for the Amogus back. Trust me, listen, let me explain this to you. Now, my artist begged me to keep the Among Us, and I said no. Like, she didn't even realize that she put in an Among Us into the design. I pointed it out, and she's like, oh my God, that's an Among Us. And then she's like, Danka, can we please keep it? I'm like, hell nah, I'm never gonna hear the end of it from Chemist if I have an Among Us in my model. Plus, I'm not too sure, like, should have listened. I'm not too sure, like, if, so here's the thing I'm, like, questioning, like, if I ever do merch or anything, would I even be allowed to do the full design if it has an Among Us in it? Because it's not my intellectual, like, it's not my property or anything, right? So I just feel like having something that's copyrighted would be trouble down the line in the design, you know? You might get CP. Zephy, maybe don't use that abbreviation for that. Maybe don't use that abbreviation. Some people might think it means something else. Anyways, can I see that draft with the Among Us? Sure, I'll send it your way. Where is? Like in Pokemon Go. Don't worry about it, Zephy. Don't worry about it. You know, stay a pure being. Here you go, Chemist. There's the Amogus. Did I say something wrong? You didn't. Some people just might, like, think it's something else. Bro, should have kept it. Nah. Nah. For real though, Zeph, do not look it up. FBI is about to break down Zephy's. FBI is about to bust down Zephy's door the moment he Googles it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Why? Why is that the first thing? Because that's the common abbreviation for it on the internet, Zephy. That's the common abbreviation people use for it on the internet. You cute, pure, and innocent being, Zephyr Rebel. That's why I said be careful, like be careful with like what you actually say and do. Oh my God. Genuinely, it is like horrific. I meant copyright. No, I know what you meant. I was just like, I just thought it was really funny. The more you know. Yep. The more you know. The more you know. But by the way, Zephy, it's nice to see you. Just so you know, we are streaming every day during this donathon.
Say goodbye to your legs.
Say goodbye to your legs. But yeah, We are going to be actually streaming every single day during this Donothon, so if you ever want to stop by while we're doing something or join in, you're more than welcome to. Like this for the community thing, anyone could follow along. That's why I had the YouTube video in the corner, so everyone could follow along. I'm thinking of maybe doing a community thing for Dragon Ball Sparking as well. For like friends and community members, where we can do some like community matches for the people that have it. It'd be nice to fight solo in it if they actually ever add crossplay to Sparking, but I don't know if they're ever gonna add crossplay. That remains to be seen, you know? Fun fact, JPEG is French for I'm pegging. Is it? Is it really, though? Is it really, Final Kurama? Hmm? Or is that what you would like it to be? Does Kurama is into pegging? Google it, Bunny Boy. After stream. I will Google it after stream, okay? But okay, I think... So, hear me out, guys. I'm not going to send you to ad hell. I'm going to snooze it. I think this is a good stopping point for today. We've been going for about 3 hours. We made it realistically halfway through the parts of the tutorial that actually matter about Blender, like lighting, animation, rendering. Realistically, that comes later. Like actually making stuff in Blender for making the things. We're halfway through the tutorial, so... And OBS didn't deep six itself. That is true. OBS and everything else was really smooth today. But I think this is a good stopping point for today. So next time we're gonna most likely finish the rest of the tutorial. So we got through, like, you know, the basics, the basic modeling, the icing, the sculpting. Next time we're going to go into shading, geometry nodes, rendering, layout, and all the other stuff. Hey Grim, what up, dude? How you doing? What you saying, damn it, for? What's wrong, huh? Huh? By the way, guys, remember, you can throw things at me with channel points now. But what up, Grim? How you doing, dude? Denka's doing the thing where he leaves as soon as we show up. Yeah, I hate you guys. I secretly hate you guys. But no, I am gonna rest up because my back is still a little bit hurty. So we're gonna call it here for today. Let's go send out a raid. I'm actually gonna send you guys. Let's see, who am I gonna send you guys over to? Let me see. You know what? You know what? Let's go send you guys over to Stanicus. Send this to the hot golf girl. How about a demon hunter? I'm gonna send you guys over to Stanicus, the man who lives within a castle with 5 bathrooms and 3 butlers from the guild. They're still trying to clear the raid on heroic, so let's go and cheer them on. Stan does use a VTuber avatar, and he's a really cool dude, so I'm gonna send you guys over to him this time around. Want you guys to be on relatively okay behavior, you know. You can be a little bit unhinged, but not too unhinged. VTuber, ew, I know, right? Ew. Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys over to Stan, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing a few things, but there is gonna be the World of Warcraft raid re-clears tomorrow, since it is Thursday. Other than that, I'm not too sure what we're gonna be doing. So Roblox is gonna be probably on Saturday because Chemist has work. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, after my classes. I'll have some fun stories for you guys starting tomorrow because tomorrow is my first drawing class, by the way. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Roblox, the thing I was gonna talk about. Oh, just like that, we're gonna play Roblox probably. I don't know. Finish doors. About the random. Oh yeah, I was really frustrated with the random guy who joined and didn't want to leave. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.